That's the sound of new digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Now you can play right from your phone and win real cash prizes. It may all sound new, but winning, oh yeah, big money, is as thrilling as ever. Register to play digital instants for a whole new way to win. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Get ready for the big game with the free iHeartRadio app. Pre-game with perfectly tailored playlists like Big Game Party and more. iHeartRadio has the perfect soundtrack for your pre-game party, whether it's just you or a block party for the entire neighborhood. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Big Game, and listen now. Make the big game great with iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. That's bonus. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from your friends at ESPN Asheville.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is Raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingles Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is live in the Ingles Studio. We're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and you can see us live on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel. You can join us in the chat.
We had our first really stupid question of Super Bowl Media Days.
Oh, dear. What was that?
Somebody told Brock Purdy he looked like Lee Harvey Oswald. I was like, that's what you came up with? I mean, first of all, you're not wrong. After I looked at it, you're not wrong. But that's what we're going. Okay. All right.
I mean, I can see the resemblance.
It's there, and it's a little weird.
It is. It is a little weird. Weird that was your first thought of the day. But you know, it's Super Bowl week. We're all just getting ready for the game, preparing. Have you prepared your menus for the game? I mean, we'll be at the bar.
I was about to say, we'll be at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, and we will have all the accompaniment. Mm-hmm. George, the wonderful owner, will be sending me the specials at some point today, so I will be able to give those to you tomorrow. I will be there all day.
Come join me and Jeremy at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, and join the 6% of people that go to a bar or a restaurant. Saw a poll.
That can't be true.
A poll
it
today,
has to be more than that.
6% who plan on watching the Super Bowl will go to a bar or a restaurant. 56% stay home.
I don't
throw a party. You go to a friend's house, like an immediate family kind of gatherings. It was 56%.
I don't want to clean up all of that. First of all, and I can't emphasize this enough, I don't want that many people in my house. Because then I have to, you got to do, the deep clean, and Amy needs to make sure that every speckle of dust that has ever lived in this house has to be eradicated. I don't want to do that, okay? Just let me live. Let me be me. And so I am a consistent every year go to the bar guy.
Okay, correction. 51%. 51% stay at home alone or watch it with immediate family. 21% will be at home hosting a party or a get-together.
Okay, so basically what this stupid poll that you gave me is saying is that 27% of people go to Super Bowl parties of some kind.
At a friend or family member's house, 21%. Yep, 6% at a bar.
Yeah, so a quarter of people. That is what a lie sounds like.
There's a whole lot of hosts and not a whole lot of people going to the parties.
Kind of like the teams in it. We got 30 sad fan bases and we're getting ready to add one more.
Oh.
And I have a feeling that their quarterback looks like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Well, I mean, a lot comes down to the matchups. And we went over the quarterback matchup yesterday. The second biggest matchup of this game has to be the coaching matchup.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a coach, ever, in the history of the Super Bowl, that needed the win more than Kyle Shanahan? And before you think about that too hard, why was it Andy Reid when he got his first one?
I actually was thinking Mike Shanahan. When Mike Shanahan, because that's
not a bad call.
Because it was Dad, right? Dad and John Elway when they made that last Super Bowl in 1998. Was that the first one, or was it 97? It was 97, 98, or 98, 99?
They won them in 97, 98.
Yeah.
Because Green Bay won in 96.
Yes.
I only remember that because Bill Parcells.
And the Rams was 99.
He then came to the Jets and gave me 4 years of what I call the good years.
Mike's about the best one I can come up with.
I would say it's those three, and there's not really a great argument for anybody else.
Well, we do this with everybody. Of you need to win your only shot, or how many times have you been here and fallen short? Everybody's career hinges on a Super Bowl. It defines
with Shanahan,
the
though, I feel like it's different.
But why?
Because you've been here. You've been close multiple times. I mean, this is his, 7th year in San Francisco?
Yes.
He's been there 7 years. He's 64-51. He's won 10 or more games for the last 5 years. It feels to me like you got to have this.
Oh, it's the moment.
You got to have this, or you're going to start getting into that territory of, well, you just can't win the big one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never give you the benefit of the doubt again. Because you add in the 28-3 Patriots-Falcons Super Bowl, which, you know what? You may put that on Dan Quinn, and that's your prerogative. You can do whatever you want to. I don't.
The offense didn't score either. Second half, they didn't score.
My blame of that is 94% Kyle Shanahan, 6% everybody else in every other dirty bird.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were the one that was too stupid to figure out, hey, run. Stop throwing. Then I go back to the first game with Kansas City. And you outplayed them for 3.5 quarters. But you couldn't win. And I always put that right at the feet of Kyle Shanahan. There was no excuse for you to lose that game.
At
None.
Kyle Shanahan's feet?
No doubt. No doubt. Anytime you outplay a team for that long, it's on the coach.
Well.
Or unless you just have some unbelievably stupid play.
Well, players got to play.
I get that.
You were up, what were they? They were up 20-10 in the fourth quarter of that Super Bowl. Ended up losing. And I always go back to that one throw. That one throw that Jimmy Garoppolo missed that sailed over Deebo Samuel's head. That was your shot. That was the kill shot.
But you should never have been in that spot. You should never
your
have been in that
defense
spot.
let you down.
Okay.
And Pat Mahomes did special things.
And this is my argument. Okay, that's how you see this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you a hypothetical. If you've got a friend that seems like every time you see him, I got a speeding ticket. I got a seatbelt ticket. Oh, I got a dead tag ticket. You're a bad driver. You're a bad car owner. That's what you are. You speed a lot. You get caught a lot. You're a bad driver. Okay. Push that forward. If every time you play in a big game, something comes up, it was a missed throw. Oh, it was poor coaching decision. Oh, they stopped running the ball. Oh, the defense let you down. What's the common thread there? That'd be you, big boy.
Mm-hmm.
They're great kazoo with your gigantic hat. I feel like he needs it. Patrick Holt had a great one in Marv Levy. That's one we didn't talk about. And you could choose any of those Super Bowls. He could have really used any of them. But if you ever notice that when we talk about great coaches, Marv's name never comes up. Ever. We drafted greatest coaches, 2 weeks ago? I never even considered Marv Levy.
I didn't either.
Never even crossed my mind.
If he'd have had a Super Bowl, would it have changed? Would you have thought differently? If they had beaten, Right, if they had beaten the Giants.
Oh, you still lost, what, 3 more times?
You would have lost 3 more times, and we would have been, he was a good coach. He was a good coach. You know, he was Andy Reid. He was Andy Reid in Philadelphia with a Super Bowl title.
And that's my point. All right, so yesterday you went down a rabbit hole of, well, San Francisco could reel off a bunch of these in a row, which I laughed at aggressively.
You could.
Well, yeah, he also could sprout wings and turn into Tinkerbell, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Have a real big head for Tinkerbell. Sorry, rabbit hole. Look at how differently we have changed the way we think about Andy Reid. He was Kyle Shanahan.
Yes.
He was. He had been here so many times. Philadelphia got to the NFC Championship game and lost a boatload of times.
Mm-hmm.
Got beat in the Super Bowl by New England. He was the guy that couldn't win. But then you get one, and the momentum changes. And that is the one thing I will say as I look around the NFC.
You get one what? You get one Super Bowl and then it changes. And you get one Patrick Mahomes and it changes. I don't ever want to take anything away from Andy Reid, but I feel like that gets kind of glossed over here.
Oh, who went and got Patrick Mahomes?
I get it.
This
It was
is not
his
like
idea.
it's not like he got Andrew
Yeah.
Luck or John Elway.
No.
He saw something that none of the rest of us saw. Now, and I will say, Pat Mahomes was my number 1 quarterback in that class, and I got that from a team that I just so happened to pull for that had a pick, and they were too scared to pull the trigger because they thought, oh, he's a system guy. Andy Reid went all in. That was his call. Mm-hmm. He did it. He deserves the credit for it.
Yes.
Because you made what was a flawed prospect. I mean, look, we all watched Pat Mahomes. We all saw him. We all knew he was going to go in the first round. And there were a lot of people. Trust me, I keep receipts. I know how many of you said to me, really? This kid from Texas Tech is going to go in the first round?
Stupid. I thought it was the most moronic thing I'd ever seen. I just didn't know. I was ignorant about it because I didn't really know because I didn't watch Texas A&M football or Texas Tech football or whatever.
I had watched him. I had watched him, and I felt really good about the arm talent. I wasn't so sure how he could acclimate to an NFL offense. And I remember when Kansas City made that deal. It's the only NFL draft that I didn't watch live.
Mm-hmm.
I got stuck. I don't remember where I was, but I got stuck in the airport. And I finally just decided I'm going to rent a car. I'm going to drive where I'm going, and I'll get to see the second half. And the last pick that I missed was Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting in the parking lot of that hotel going, that could work. That could work because the arm talent with that coaching staff, with that coaching ability, with that offense, this could work. Did I think it would work this way? Good Lord, no. Nobody did.
Right.
But I guess that's my point with Kyle Shanahan. A lot of your previous ills, 28-3, Garoppolo's overthrow, all the losses in the NFC Championship game or the divisional round, that can all be unwound. Josh Johnson, we'll never talk about that again if you can win this game.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the teacher in front of you. And I have a weird feeling that Steve Spagnuolo knows exactly where Kyle Shanahan's getting ready to go. Because that's always been my problem with Shanahan is that you get into these situations and you get on that first 15, that first 25, whatever. I don't know how many plays he scripts. But that script is bullets. Then he gets off that script.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at the history of Kyle Shanahan, it always starts well. Even the Brock Purdy game, they were driving. It looked like they were the better team.
Mm-hmm.
Then they weren't. Kansas City in the Super Bowl, they looked like the better team for 3 quarters. And then they weren't. 28-3, they were the better team. And then they weren't. And that, to me, this is one of those games that I feel like you could go into halftime. Let's say San Francisco's got a 17-14 lead going into halftime. Do you feel better about San Francisco at that point or worse?
I would say better.
I will go worse.
Really?
I'll go worse. I need you to come out, put your foot on their head, and really give them something to think about.
So don't want them to come out feeling comfortable.
I almost feel like it would be better for San Francisco if they were down. That you can't get comfortable because every time Kyle Shanahan gets comfortable, something bad happens.
Mm-hmm.
Every time over the course of his career. And you can say this is hurricane rock, where I'm saying that the rock I put out on the porch is what's keeping hurricanes away, and we live in the mountains. I don't think that's the case. You go back and watch the tape, they either get really vanilla or they can't do anything but go for kill shots. That's what they did against New England in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got you on the ropes. Now we got to kill you. And you just let them chip away, chip away, chip away. All you needed was one kill shot over the entire second half of that game. But that's all you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't figure out just run the ball.
No, you kept airing it out, and you kept turning the ball over. And you keep giving teams like New England with Tom Brady and Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, you keep giving them chances, they will make you pay for it. I'm hopeful that things will turn. But is it as stark of a difference at quarterback or at coach as it is at quarterback?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yes. I think it's more so, actually.
And here's where I'm different is in the ranking of coaches in the NFL, Andy's 1 and Kyle's 4. 5?
Off the top of my head, I would rather Andy's my unequivocal 1 with Sean McVay. They're like my 1A, 1B.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Harbaugh-Tomlin duo that I have to put them right beside each other because I think they're the same guy. One of them just hires way better and has a way better GM. There are a couple others that I want to put around Kyle, but I feel like there's such a gap between that top 4 and Kyle Shanahan.
That was my point.
To me, it drops off a cliff.
It's just when you're that seasoned, that experienced, you've been to the big stage, you've faced it down, and you've out-schemed everybody you've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest problem that Kyle Shanahan has, as you said, is the adjustments. Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo are going to make moves on the fly, to which I don't believe Kyle Shanahan or Steve Wilks are going to be able to handle.
I have to cover this because Stephen Tao said this in the YouTube comments.
Uh-huh.
He said, Philadelphia beat New England with Nick Foles. Let's not go overboard with Andy Reid like we did Bill. We see how that goes without Brady. Yeah, if you don't see the difference in those two, I'm not so sure I can help you. Andy Reid went to 6 NFC Championship games. Bill Belichick couldn't make the damn playoffs. There's a huge difference between those two. I will fight this to my dying day. Andy Reid's a better coach than Bill Belichick, and I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's worth debating. Andy just so happened to find his quarterback way later in his life than Bill did. That's the only reason you're going to see more Super Bowl rings on one finger than the other. Andy was a top 3 coach in this league for 20 years. He started in Philadelphia, 99?
Something like that.
I think it was 99 or 98 after Ray Rhodes. And then for 13, 14 years in Philadelphia, they were the best team in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
They just could not get over the hump. Couldn't do it no matter what they did. They could not get over the hump. And that feels like where you're at with Kyle Shanahan. The only problem is, do you go the Andy Reid route? Because I do think he's a really good offensive mind. His offense looks different. I do think it's a lot of sleight-of-hand magic.
Sleight-of-hand magic.
Oh, I've always said Kyle Shanahan's like the David Copperfield of the NFL.
Well, but
this ain't nearly as impressive as you think it is.
Because of the motion in the offense and all of that? Is that what you're saying?
It's gimmicky.
It's flashy?
Mm-hmm. Oh, look over here, look over here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the background is moving slowly, and the Statue of Liberty disappeared. Don't look over there, because it's still standing. And it just seems to me like any time he comes into a situation like this, he gets outcoached.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with the last 2. First half of Detroit, he got outcoached in that game. Wasn't close. He had nothing. Andrew Ayers said his adjustments have looked good over the last 2 games. Are you sure? Are you sure that was adjustments or not 2 really young teams that didn't know how to win? I've watched that San Francisco-Detroit tape twice, and that was after the game was over. I have never for 1 second thought the better team won that game. I think Dan Campbell went full Joe Biden and just pooed in his pants and then put them back on.
All right, let's get more into that after the break right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
This year, surprise your love with more than just flowers. Send them a fun, out-of-the-box floral arrangement from Stargazers Floral Designs. Check out their unique designs at stargazersfloraldesigns.com or call 828-254-3621 to place your order.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or injury? Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence. Walk and run and play and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Phone 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
Progressive asks, what do a middle school slumber party,
Let's stay up all night. Yeah!
a sleep-deprived girl, an early morning paper route, and a poorly thrown rolled-up newspaper have in common?
Hey, my window!
They can become a fast-breaking news story.
Sorry, Mr. Thompson.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com, your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP,
The Beast Unleashed.
with 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed available at your local retailer.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can of kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
We are live in the Ingles Studio on ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy. And apparently Dan duked. So Dan Campbell just dutied in his drawers.
Dan Campbell did his best Kyle Shanahan impression.
And there was nothing that Kyle Shanahan's adjustments did to win that game. Is that what you're saying?
You're making that a little generic.
Too simplistic, yes.
Had Detroit known how to win, they would have. That's where I'll put that.
Okay.
I'm not saying this was some masterclass by Kyle Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
No, you've got a deficiency that you should have damn well known coming into this game, and you didn't at all. How you figured it out at halftime? Yeah, good for you. Awesome. It doesn't change the fact you were down 24-7 to a team that should never, ever have been able to stymie you so much on defense.
But does that not give you a little more confidence in Steve Wilkes?
No, not in the least.
Really?
I
was able to make the adjustment and stop the bleeding at halftime?
Okay, let me ask you. And I promise you I'm not trying to say how stupid what you just said was.
Mm-hmm.
So if I stabbed you and then I sewed it back up and you didn't bleed to death, does that make me a hero or does that make me somebody that stabbed you?
I mean, you did aid in the effort, so
yeah,
they might give you credit for that at sentencing.
I guess.
You're
still
assault.
the reason we were in this shape.
No doubt. No, I'm not saying it's not.
I hate that argument so much of, well, second half adjustments. Why were you down that much in the first place? And yes, they capitalized on the mistakes. They scored the points. I get it.
There you go.
I didn't walk away from that going, man, that was a masterclass in the second half by Kyle Shanahan. Did you?
No.
I walked away from that going, man, Dan Campbell's going to have to throw those pants away because there's no saving them bad boys. There ain't enough bleach in Michigan to get that out.
It was, to me, it was obvious that was how that was going to end pretty early.
Hey, and you know what's funny?
In the second half.
You know what's funny? It's the second week in a row it happened. Because it happened against Green Bay, too.
Yes, it did.
Weird. Young quarterback the first week. Coach that's never really won anything. Second week, you got a quarterback that's never won one, but he has been to a Super Bowl. Came out gangbusters the first half. Coach that's never won anything lets down in the second half. Yeah, you know what you don't get this weekend? That. You get the best quarterback in the league. You get the best coach in the league. Mm-hmm. And this is all gas, no brakes. You come out and you're down 24-7 at halftime this week, you're going to get beat 52-17. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it with Kyle Shanahan. I think he's good, not great. To me, the difference between him and Arthur Smith is not as deep as you want it to be. And now, let me preface that.
That don't really track, but
I'm not saying that Arthur Smith is as good of a head coach as Kyle Shanahan.
Okay,
I'm talking in terms of offensive know-how. I think they are very similar.
Okay, you may be
Kyle
right.
has gotten better over time. I just don't think he's in that upper echelon. And for me, him winning this game is not really going to change that.
It won't.
It will help.
I was going to say that's what I'm looking for is what's the reaction to Kyle Shanahan if he does win this game. If San Francisco is able to win, how they win will matter. If it was his play calling, his scheme that created all of the problems for Steve Spagnuolo, which I don't know that you can. I think that highly of Steve Spagnuolo and his role as a defensive coordinator, that he's going to have the answer to Kyle Shanahan.
I don't buy Steve Wilkes at all. I don't. I don't think that there was some great big, hey, we figured it out in Detroit. I think things went downhill. They came out and scored fast. And then there was some panic. And if you go back and watch Detroit, it was very obvious that this was a team that had never been there before. Because the play calling got panicked, the defense got panicked, and then it's like snowball rolling downhill.
You can't let it get out of control. You can't let it get out of hand.
I want to, Andrew Ayers, it just keeps firing things at me. So let me see if I can explain what I'm trying to say here.
Okay.
I'm going to use kind of a weird analogy. Who's the best coach in college basketball to you?
Hubert Davis.
Right now, it's you. You're out of your goal. Okay, let me give you a second crack at that.
I don't know.
Is it Mark Few? See how you just did that?
I mean, that hadn't gone well this year.
Mark Few is the Kyle Shanahan of college basketball.
Okay.
You can beat up on the dum-dums with the best of them. You can beat the Santa Claras. You can beat the St. Mary's. And weird, every single time you come up against a Hubert Davis or a Bill Self, by the way, that was the right call.
Bill Self.
Or one of those guys, they beat you. Go look at his track record against those teams. Kyle Shanahan has the exact same thing. Awesome. You can beat a guy that came off your staff in Matt LaFleur. Sweet. That's great. You can beat Dan Campbell, who most of us universally mocked when he got hired. When was the last time you remember him beating a Bill Belichick and Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin? Oh, yeah, John Harbaugh. Yeah, they played them early this year. Spanked on national television. On Christmas night, you got your brains beat out of the back of your head. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say is if you want to tell me how great Mark Few is, that's great. If you don't and you want to make that face he just made at me, then stop trying to sell me on Kyle Shanahan because they're the same guy. You can beat up on the also-rans. Hey, and you know what? You come in here and beat Andy Reid, that's sweet. And you'll have a Super Bowl ring, and you will always have that as a notch on your bedpost. The only problem is that I got 27 on the other side of you getting beat by these same people. And that's why I'm going into this going, this is the dumbest line I've ever seen in my life. The fact Kansas City is a dog here is so comically stupid that I cannot wrap my brain around it. And is that me telling you there's no chance San Francisco wins? No. I'm a bettor. I'm playing percentages. I get Andy Reid. I get Pat Mahomes. You get Whittle Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan, who's let me down every single time I've ever seen him in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing percentages, I think you probably failed calculus.
No doubt.
Because this doesn't make a lick of sense to me.
How big of an upset would this be to you? San Francisco pulls this off. Is it a major upset? Does it shock you? Because
it would more shock me from the Kyle Shanahan beating Andy Reid than the 53 guys on the field. Because this is a talented team.
Mm-hmm.
Shock me? No. Shock me was the Green Bay Packers playing with this team. Because Jimmy for Joe, you ain't close.
Mm-hmm.
And you did. And see, to me, all of those go into the resume of Kyle Shanahan. I'm not just going to forget that because of one game. Stephen Tao said that, so why should we care? Why should we care about this game? Because it's the penultimate game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is what you watch the entire season for. Sorry, you don't get to audible this just because it's a flawed matchup. It's not like they're going to play Detroit, Baltimore on the other side of town, and you can choose to watch that. This is what you got. These are the two teams that are here in a really weird year where I felt like the top of the NFL separated. You got two of those.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. It'll be a fun game to watch. Great game to watch, arguably.
Mm-hmm. You got the top two teams. You got the one from the AFC, the one from the NFC. We're right back to where we were with the college football playoff. You can make the argument that maybe Baltimore was better throughout the season. In fact, they were better throughout the season.
No doubt.
The problem is they lost their game, just like Georgia did. Baltimore Ravens are the Georgia Bulldogs of the NFL. They might be the best team, but they're sitting at home because they lost the big one. They lost the one that you can't lose. And guess who they lost it to? The same old suspects. The same dudes that have been running the show for the last 10 years, it feels like.
Well, and I haven't mentioned this yet, but, since it's been fired at me in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
give Kyle Pat Mahomes, I bet you'd be saying the same thing about Kyle as you do about Reid. I bet I wouldn't. You gave up 3 first-round picks to go get a quarterback, and you broke him. You could not contour to him, and for some reason, nobody seems to. Do you realize how unbelievably lucky Kyle Shanahan is?
Mm-hmm.
A guy that you didn't believe in. If you thought he was this, you wouldn't have taken him at 255, so spare me on that. The only reason you took him at 255 was because you didn't want anybody else to have a crack at him. Because you thought maybe there's another team that likes him as much as we do, because you thought he was a developmental third arm. Meanwhile, the guy that you fell in love with, I'm all in, and I don't care which side of that you believe. He was either all in on Trey Lance or he was all in on Mac Jones. Guess what? Both bums.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid made Alex Smith work. He made Kevin Cobb work. Spare me on the guy being Pat Mahomes. I don't buy it. I'll never buy it, and you'll never convince me of it. Name me the bust quarterback that Andy Reid's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I could argue Kyle Shanahan has one of the top 5 I've ever seen. Because you couldn't even get him on the field. It wasn't even just that he was bad. You couldn't get him out there. And then you got bailed out by the cosmic universe that your 7th-round practice squad guy that's supposed to be wearing a little singlet in case your quarterback dies came in here and was actually good. Sorry. You know who else did that? Bill Belichick. Take that career outside of Brock Purdy. You know what you have? A whole lot of Kyle Shanahan. I get so tired of listening to people tell me how great this dude is. I get so tired of it. Hey, you know what? He wins on Sunday. He'll shut me up for 6 whole months. And come September of next year, I'll have a little better belief in you because you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there. Has it changed the last 7 years?
No. Nothing you can do. Earn a little bit of respect, but nothing you can do to become elite in your eyes.
You got a lot of hill climbing to get.
Mm-hmm. It'll do it for me. It's usually all it takes.
I'm a big fan of guys that do a lot with a little, not guys that do a little with a lot.
Mm-hmm. Winning the Super Bowl is not a little thing. And I don't care how much damn talent you have on your team. It's hard to win a Super Bowl. You got to give Kyle Shanahan the credit if he comes up with the win. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville. More enjoyable weather here for February. Temperatures about 10 degrees above average or less, but still above average any way you look at it. Mostly sunny today, and I'm going to say mostly sunny for Thursday. Both days, great days for this time of year, near 60, overnight lows near 30. Friday, we'll start to see some showers. They'll be widely scattered around, though, but still mild, near 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Renewal by Anderson of the Carolinas.
Renewal by Anderson's here.
Kickstart the new year with this incredible deal. Buy one window or door and get the second for 40% off. Act now to schedule your free, no-obligation, in-home consultation with my team at freewindowsassessment.com. That's freewindowsassessment.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Get ready for the big game with the free iHeartRadio app, the official partner of the NFL Podcast Network, featuring the biggest names in the game like Ross Tucker and his daily NFL podcast, NFL Now, and many more. Search NFL and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Win $1,000 in inflation compensation.
I just won $1,000.
And kick your new year into high gear.
What? No way! Thank you, I play every day. That's great.
Happening now.
Woo! Brought to you by PSG. PSG Traffic Services exists to save lives by providing safe work zones and to provide all your traffic needs. PSG is hiring team members. Excellent pay and benefits. Call 910-821-1720 or visit psgtrafficservices.com.
When it comes to morning essentials, he's right behind a snug-fitting lid on your travel mug.
First news on 570 with Mark Starling. The latest news, up-to-the-minute forecast, and traffic updates.
On News Radio 570 WWNC.
Good job, guys!
You sound like you're feeling better, Coach.
Yep, took Mucinex Kickstart. Now I'm back in the game.
New Mucinex Kickstart. All-in-one and done relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. Buy now. Use as directed.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
Yes, Chef. At Ingles, we know that not every Valentine's Day is four-star perfection with string quartets and swanky restaurants.
My boyfriend bought me flowers.
That it's not the money you spend or the elaborate lengths you go to.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. It is time to get just a bit outside, and the Super Bowl is happening in Las Vegas this week. So Las Vegas executives, civil servants, if you will, are in popular demand with sports podcasts. The mayor of Las Vegas, Carolyn Goodman, made an appearance on the Front Office Sports Today podcast that was released yesterday. And she had an interesting take that has been, I will say, blown out of proportion, but you don't normally hear somebody talk about it. So if you got a big economic development coming to your town, say there's like a giant plant coming to your local town. It's going to bring all these jobs. It's going to boost the local economy. It's still in negotiations. They're trying to find the right place for it, but we got some things to iron out, but we really want this to happen. You wouldn't go onto a media outlet and say, you know what, they should probably stay at home.
I read this story yesterday, and I went, man, any baseball person that doesn't already hate me is fitting too.
Carolyn Goodman said, as referring to the Oakland A's, because the deal has been that they're going to be moved to Las Vegas, but they're trying to find different sites. The city had proposed a site for them that was, lots of access to local interstates. It was not on the Strip. It was out where it wouldn't cause a problem. And then the Oakland A's ownership got in bed with, the Tropicana or the Columbiana, or I don't remember the name of the casino. Anyway, one of the old casino sites, they've hooked up with them, and they want to build one on the Strip. The local leaders don't like that. And so she was just, they've always wanted a place on the water in Oakland. So maybe they should just keep pursuing their dream for a new stadium there. And I went, what? And then the best part was the back pedal that came afterwards.
Because you realized, I said that out loud.
Right, because as soon as this came out, everybody went, what in the hell is this? The mayor of Las Vegas is saying she doesn't want the Major League Baseball team to come. And she had to go on social media and backpedal and say, no, that's not what I meant. I mean, I was just trying to think of them and their fans. The fans of Oakland really love that team, and they might want to, perfect world, they would find a way to stay. But I would love for them to come to my town.
Yeah, see, here's the problem with that's not what you said. It's not close to what you said. So let me draw a parallel here. Let's say when the Raiders, moved out of Oakland, let's say this mayor had gone on a podcast and said, well, the Raiders should probably find a way to make it work in Oakland. How quickly would she have been recalled?
Oh, yeah.
Like that day? I mean, would the FBI have just shown up with boxes like, ma'am, we'll send your stuff to you? Major League Baseball, on the other hand, they could, figure out a way to make that work. That would be awesome. That is example number 4,226 of baseball is dead, and it is dying more. Somehow it died. We buried it, and it continues to die further.
Because Carolyn Goodman doesn't like baseball, apparently.
So it's not even that she doesn't like baseball. There are huge issues, infrastructure issues, with putting that stadium in there because you have so many games. You can't have traffic like that added to what you already have on the Vegas Strip. I told you that when this came out. This doesn't make any sense. And we're not doing this for baseball. Sorry, they draw 86 people in Oakland. We're not doing all this for you to draw 806 here.
I was going to say, you shouldn't be worried about it. If it's not many people are going to show up, then don't worry about it.
I feel like baseball people watched Field of Dreams and went, if you build it, they will come.
Oh, it'll be an absolute nightmare trying to get people into that ballpark. Think about it like on a Saturday night.
Oh, awful. Celine Dion is playing on the Strip. I'm going to the A's game.
Yeah.
Are you on drugs?
Sunday night baseball. Think of the madhouse the Strip will be.
I'm just trying to think of how many things would have to be not happening at one time for you to go, I think I'm going to take in a Las Vegas Aces baseball game. Wayne Newton has COVID. Celine Dion is on voice rest. There are no shows downtown. David Copperfield got eaten by a shark. He disappeared himself. David Blaine disappeared himself. He went into a black hole. And that's it. Okay, you got me. There is nothing else to do in Vegas tonight except watch this stupid game. Then tomorrow, not so much. Now, it's ironic you told that story.
Okay.
Because you triggered something in my mind that reminded me of a story that came out last night. It's about Joe Buck. Joe Buck is he's the Monday Night Football guy. This is a CBS game, so Joe is
boycotting.
Not calling this game. But he was asked about the festivities in Vegas, and his response was, I don't have any desire to be there. It's a lot of logistics. It's a lot of congestion. I'm not that way. I'm not looking for the maximum party and going out all night. It's just not my thing. And then you combine that with Vegas. There's going to be some story. There's going to be something that happens because it's Vegas, and it won't stay in Vegas. It's going to be a big something that happens. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. I just think that it's going to be a mess in my mind. Joe Buck, I try to not call you a baseball guy. Like Abe Simpson yelling at clouds. Buddy, we have a team in Vegas. We have an NFL team in Vegas. We have a hockey team in Vegas. Like, I understand that some of your amateur buddies go to Vegas, they get a little schnockered, and they make bad decisions. And could it happen? Sure.
Oh, Vegas, it's 100% going to happen. I'm with Joe Buck on this one. There will be something that happens.
Of course you are. And I mean this with all the love and affection that I can. Because you're an old fuddy-duddy that thinks that every person that goes to Vegas is just doing 8-gram rocks with Charlie Sheen.
No, there's just way too many of them. And you put all of the richest people in the world.
How do I say this delicately? You ever been to Los Angeles? Because I have.
No.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to find trouble, you can find it in Los Angeles. You can find it in Las Vegas. You can find it in Atlanta. Hell, you can find it in Raleigh if you want to. If you're after it, you will find it.
Mm-hmm.
People make this has always been like a really antiquated thought to me, that people treat Las Vegas like it's Sodom and Gomorrah, and like you go into the town and automatically you just become leaving Las Vegas or the dude from The Big Lebowski. That's not how this works. Yes, there are debaucherous things you can do in Las Vegas.
No doubt.
Many of them are legal, which, good for you. Selling's legal. Cavorting is legal. Why is selling? Anyway, that's a story for another day. This sounded like 90-year-old man. Hey, in my day, we played the Super Bowl in black and white. And it was on a tube television, and you had to get up to change the channel.
He's making the same argument for the Super Bowl that you're making for the A's not having their stadium on the Strip. Something's gonna happen. It's gonna be a madhouse. I don't want any part of it.
No, you want a logistical nightmare? Jacksonville was a logistical nightmare. Okay, because they had to bring boats into the harbor so people would have beds to sleep in. Vegas is not going to have that problem. The only problem is that people might find beds to sleep in, and there might be more than 2 people in those beds. So that's your biggest problem in Vegas. Sorry.
I don't think I agree with that. I don't think that's the biggest problem in Vegas. Of course, there's room for nefarious activities anywhere.
What you were about to say? There's prostitution in Vegas. That's where you were about to go.
What?
Said you were about to say there's prostitution in Vegas.
No, I wasn't. I was going to say something mean, and it was an off-color joke, and I stopped myself, and I feel proud.
Good for you. So I don't have to answer to some dumb thing you said. That's sweet.
So we didn't have to end this segment the way I'm getting ready to end it anyway, which is at Sports Tank ESPN.
There you go.
We'll be right back.
Win $1,000 in inflation compensation.
I just won $1,000.
And kick your new year into high gear.
What? No way. I try every day. That's great.
Happening now.
Brought to you by PSG. PSG Traffic Services exists to save lives by providing safe work zones and to provide all your traffic needs. PSG is hiring team members. Excellent pay and benefits. Call 910-821-1720 or visit psgtrafficservices.com.
Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570, and I've been telling you for years how great Summit Dental is with Dr. Chad Reinhardt. Look, you don't have to take it from me. Check out these 5-star reviews on Google. Summit Dental is amazing. They're so friendly and welcoming when you arrive. They have comfort options that you can request at no extra charge, like a warm lavender-infused neck wrap, pillows, blankets, sunglasses, and warm and cold drinks. I've never had this at any previous dental offices. We've changed our whole family over to Summit. Check out Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt, home of the comfort menu.
This is Cam Jordan, all-pro defensive end with the New Orleans Saints. I'm known for my work on the field, but I also do work on the mic as host of the Off the Edge with Cam Jordan podcast. Whether it's great football combos with all pros like the Eagles' Darius Slay, the Steelers' Cam Hayward, or the Raiders' Max Crosby, or it's fire music takes. The Off the Edge with Cam Jordan podcast is your ultimate playbook for all things football and not football. Get new episodes every Wednesday through the playoffs and Super Bowl 58. Listen on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you won't find PTSD by looking at a thermometer. Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a bandage. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
The Ingles 2024 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest, presented by Champion Credit Union, will be held Saturday, March 9th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Pack Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and a parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy, he's coming back. He's coming back to the league to do weird foot stuff. Rex Ryan is interviewing for the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator job.
I've always thought if I did like a 23andMe, I think Rex Ryan is my drunkle.
I don't even want to know why. Just there's
I
lots,
think you
there's
know.
like no we don't don't need to go down that path. Good move, bad move.
I've never understood why it's taken him so long to get another job anyway.
I mean,
if I was hiring a first-time offensive coach, Rex Ryan would have been my first call. No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Name me the time his defenses haven't been good. Oh, but the game left him by. Oh, really? You think so? Because I don't. I don't at all.
I mean, he hadn't had a job in a decade. And I get
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
No. That's
no,
not
it says
true.
the better part of a decade. So 7 years, 8 years.
Okay. And? I mean, are you out on this?
No, I'm not out on this by any means. I just is that an all-in move?
I think so.
Is Rex Ryan still that elite of a defensive coach?
Let me put it
Because there
this
was
way.
no doubt that he was. That's why he was getting head coaching jobs. So is this the all-in move necessary to get Dallas a championship?
I think it's the best hire you can make. I mean, you got to understand Dallas is coming in on the backside of this. Dan Quinn was the last head coach hired. So you've got a lot of candidates that have gone a lot of other places. To me, it's a home run. Let me ask you a question about Rex Ryan. He was in the league from 2005 to 2014. All right, that was the year he got let go by the Jets.
Okay.
The Bills, that didn't quite go so hot. That team just wasn't it wasn't as talented as he needed it to be. How many teams did he coach that finished outside of the top 11 defensively in yards allowed?
3.
It never happened.
Never.
He was in the top 5 all but twice. He's an elite defensive mind. Now, the battles between him and Mike McCarthy, that could be just so much fun. You get somebody that is literally just dull as dishwater in Mike McCarthy, and then you bring in old big teeth veneer Rex Ryan with his weird foot stuff. That's a reality show. Somebody call Jerry Jones right now, book a deal on whatever network you need to get it on.
What's that team meeting look like?
Because did you see the video of there was a tennis match somewhere, and somebody hijacked the video board and they put dirty videos on it?
I did see that.
That's what that team meeting looks like. Rex Ryan just sitting there putting Pornhub up behind Mike McCarthy like, oh, I will. You want to fight? Let's fight. I'll fight you right now.
I mean, maybe that's the answer. If we're not convinced that Mike McCarthy is the leader to get them over the hump, that they need that on the edge guy, maybe this could be a perfect marriage between the two of them.
I think it matches up nicely with, I mean, look, he was the head coach of my team for several years. I think it matches up nicely with the talent they have. Can you imagine Micah Parsons in that Rex Ryan defense? He might have 30 sacks. I guarantee you this, he would never see another coverage down for as long as Rex was there.
Which is going to be awesome for him, and he'll earn every bit of that $32 million contract he's going to end up getting.
I think it's cute. You think it's only 30?
Is that it? Is it pushing 40?
I've heard some figures.
Really? I mean, I knew it was going to be huge, but
I've heard some figures that.
By the way, speaking of that, have you seen the Drake video? Just curious. You ain't seen this yet?
No.
Yeah, social media. Find the hashtag Drake video. All I'm going to say is good for him. Good for him.
I am terrified.
Do you remember the Antonio Brown pool video?
Yes.
Drake had one of those.
Don't do that.
He had one of them.
You know, the more time goes on, the more I start to realize that there is a percentage of dudes that are just terrible. I think Bill Burr used to have a stand-up bit about this. Somewhere there is a percentage of dudes that are just walking around there. Look at it! Mm-hmm. You will! Mm-hmm. I don't want to hang out with that guy. Okay? I don't want to drink beers with that guy.
It's perfect little rabbit hole to go down here as we're talking about Rex Ryan.
Hey, Rex was pretty open about his predilections.
He was. I think the league is better. This team will be more fun.
Oh,
Can you
no doubt.
This is Hard Knocks. This is Hard Knocks next year. Is there a way that we can make them do it?
I don't think so. But we could ask really nicely.
Exactly.
We need Rex Ryan's teeth on Hard Knocks. That dude is the only person on the planet who makes Gary Busey's dental work look tiny. I love Rex. I do. I love Rex.
Mm-hmm. Rex Ryan interviewing for the defensive coordinator job for the Dallas Cowboys could be a great hire. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Coming up after the top of the hour, we'll continue to talk about, the coaching matchup. Coming up in the Super Bowl, Andy Reid. Just let's crown him.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
More enjoyable weather here for February. Temperatures about 10 degrees above average or less, but still above average any way you look at it. Mostly sunny today, and I'm going to say mostly sunny for Thursday. Both days, great days for this time of year, near 60, overnight lows near 30. Friday, we'll start to see some showers. They'll be widely scattered around, though, but still mild, near 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Marine litter is often the result of poorly managed trash on land. To help prevent trash from escaping from your outdoor trash bins on collection day, keep the trash bin lid closed. Don't overflow it, and put it out for pickup shortly before the scheduled pickup time. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces. And trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
Hear that? That's the sound of new digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Now you can play right from your phone and win real cash prizes. It may all sound new, but winning, oh yeah, big money, is as thrilling as ever. Register to play digital instants for a whole new way to win. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Greene. That's Greene. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com. And good luck from your friends at ESPN Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it, babe!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. What?
I just went through it. I just hit every button until you find the right one. That was me.
Oh.
Yeah, I hit every button. If you have ADHD, you just had the most fun on our YouTube stream you'll ever have because there was nothing but blinking lights for a solid minute.
Awesome.
Sorry, I was mid-sandwich. All right?
Yeah, Jeremy has been tasting the witch.
Oh, my Lord.
I'd never had a witch sandwich.
I didn't know we had one. It popped up on Uber Eats, and I went, well, that's happening because it's Wicked Wednesday. It's so good. I need somebody, okay? And this is a little rant, but my name's on the door, so I can do it. We have come up with every diet known to man. All right, we've got the carnivore diet where you can just basically eat nothing but meat. Got the keto diet where you can eat all the cheese you want, but apparently you can't have bread. I keep doing this for a while. Why do we not have NASA scientists and our greatest thinker minds trying to figure out a sandwich diet where I can just eat Sammy's all day?
Mm-hmm. That'd be great.
There's so many places. There's Jersey Mike's, there's Firehouse, there's Witch. I could choose a different sandwich place for every meal and be just fine.
The trick is you got to get it without the bread, though. That's the problem.
No.
Bread is fattening, and carbs turn to sugar. Sugar turns to fat. And that gets you in trouble. So that's why I like, Jersey Mike's. I love Jersey Mike's. Sub in a tub. You just order it in a tub. It comes without the bread, and they're so good.
I made the grinder salad last night.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the picture I put into our messenger chat?
No, I didn't.
So you've been to my house. I've got the set of bowls, which range from normal to you have to feed an army. I made you have to feed an army bowl.
As always.
With grinder salad, and then made its own little special dressing with red wine vinegar, olive oil, mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, garlic aioli, boar's head. Got it at Ingles. Low prices, love the savings. And there was something else. What else did I put in that? Paprika. It'll come to me. It was so good. But I mentally told myself, I have to have a sandwich with bread tomorrow.
And you've now fulfilled your destiny.
There's another one in that bag. Don't worry, there's another one in that bag.
I wasn't going to say that.
I'm not ashamed.
Just let it fly.
I'm here for a good time and a long time. Let's go.
He is here for a long time. UNC Asheville basketball tonight on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy will be running the board and doing your pregame halftime festivities tonight. Big game for UNC Asheville taking on High Point right here on ESPN Asheville. All right.
Oh, wait, I'm here tonight?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, you're in here.
Let's go. I hate having to pick up all my stuff and move it down the hall. All my toys are here. Let me play here.
And it just, I'm sorry. It just got me spiraling thinking about last night, and I'm still kind of disappointed in my Tar Heels. We'll talk about that tomorrow with Jones Angell, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, 24 hours away from a Tar Heel time with Jones Angell. We'll talk about the big win against Duke and then that hangover loss against Clemson. Congratulations to Kevin Vick and the other Tiger fans who can enjoy that. Of course, everybody who's not a Tar Heel fan will enjoy that. So Patrick Holt and Stephen Tao both celebrating that in the chat last night. Anyway, Super Bowl week, coaching matchup, it's very stark. It's a drastic contrast between these two. It wasn't 4 years ago, but now it is.
Oh, you're talking about in terms of career.
Yes.
I was about to say from a stylistic standpoint, styles make fights. That's the only reason that I really have any interest in this game.
Once you pile up the wins, you get yourself into that category. We talked about Shanahan in the last hour. I feel if he wins this game, you no doubt will think that he is better, but it takes a lot to crack into that elite territory. And nobody's done it like Andy Reid. I don't know that I can think of another coach that I thought was just meh and then became the greatest.
Okay, at what point did you think Andy Reid was, to paraphrase you, meh?
It was during the Philadelphia run. During when I know they were winning regular season games, and that's all well and good, but it was, why can't you win the big one? Why can't you win the NFC Championship game and get to a Super Bowl? Then finally they got to a Super Bowl. It was a great game with New England, but still came up short. And so you get saddled with that. He's never going to win the big one. And then how quickly that changes when you get into another situation. You get a great quarterback, and here you are.
Do you know the last time Andy Reid didn't win 10 games?
No.
Because he hasn't taken a break. He's been an NFL head coach for 25 years.
Was it the last year in Philadelphia?
No. He went 9-7 his second year in Kansas City.
Okay.
He's gone 11-5, 9-7, 11-5, 12-4, 10-6, 12-4, 12-4, 14-2, 12-5, 14-3, 11-6. That is about as elite as it gets. And in the last 4 years, you got 2 Super Bowl championships, 2 more AFC championships, with the possibility to turn one of those AFCs into a Super Bowl on Sunday.
Yes.
I think I'm to the point of Andy Reid's the best coach in NFL history. I think I'm there. The only 2 real contenders are Bill and Don Shula. And you just look at how things ended in New England. I can't get on board with that. Do you know, and this is one of my favorite stats you'll ever hear, 25 years as a head coach. He's only had back-to-back years where he didn't win 10 games twice.
That's impressive.
And he won 9 in one of those seasons and 8 in the other 2. And 2 of the other 3, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done it. This isn't just, hey, I had a great run with Tom, or hey, I had a great run with Johnny Unitas and Dan Marino. No, we've gone Kevin Cobb. We've gone Donovan McNabb, who I like. I think he's a good quarterback. I never thought he was a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Smith, now Pat Mahomes. Does this Super Bowl do anything for him?
For Andy?
Mm-hmm. In terms of long-term legacy. I'm already there. So
No.
for me, it's just kind of 6 one way, half dozen the other.
At this point, you're just building on to the legacy. And you're Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is in this scenario. Tom Brady was in this scenario after they won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but Pat's still got to catch Tom.
Of course.
So I
It
can't
matters
really.
for him. You're always going to be chasing numbers. All sports are numbers games.
Mm-hmm.
And so Bill, what was the story that he was trying to hang on in New England? Because he wanted to get Shula's record. I wanted to get the most victories. Already got the most Super Bowls. I'm going after the most victories. There's always a number to chase. Andy will always be chasing Bill. I don't think he'll ever get there. For me, you can talk about the Brady years and all of that. It's still Bill Belichick still matters. The hardware still matters. You can
so to you, it's just Bill out there by himself. You don't care about how things went on the front or back side of that.
No,
Let me ask you a
really
question.
don't.
If Andy Reid left Kansas City right now, how many teams in the NFL would fire their coach just to get a crack at him?
All of them.
It's not all of them, but it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You had 8 open head coaching jobs. Nobody was interested in Bill. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid has had an unbelievable ability to adjust. See, to me, to put your fingers in your ears and just say, nope, Andy will never catch him. Let me ask you a question. Just curious how close you come to this.
Mm-hmm.
Don Shula had 19 playoff wins.
Okay.
How many did Bill have?
30, 28?
31.
31, okay.
Andy Reid has 25. Be 26 if he wins on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he's going anywhere for a long, long time. Percentage, he's right behind Bill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are others that are better. Joe Gibbs was better percentage-wise. Chuck Noll was better. Tom Coughlin was better.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard to have a better percentage when you either win the Super Bowl or miss the playoffs.
Right.
For me, there's not even a discussion anymore.
It's Andy won.
It's Andy won.
Okay.
And then you can get into because to me, Bill and Don are they're polar opposite coaches, but I think they're very similar talents. They did what they did really well. They had some luck, and they hired well. There's merit to that. To me, that puts you 2 and 3. I can't help but look at a coach who won 5 games his first year in the league, his first year with a bad roster, had a 4-12 season right there at the end that just cratered into the ocean. And if you look back on all the things that happened to that team, it's almost shocking they got to 4-12. That was also what got them Lane Johnson, just to be clear. And other than that, has basically won double-digit games every single year.
Yes.
I can't – I don't have a way to beat that. Because to me, if you start getting into Bill with, well, he's got the rings, okay, you're right, and that's a very valid argument. Now I'm going to start dipping into those 30s, 40s, 50s guys, and you don't really have a way to beat me. You don't.
What do you mean?
You've got a slew of guys that won a good number of rings when there were 8 teams. Chasing hardware, I get it. And I understand how flawed that argument is. I'm just saying I'm not just a hardware guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. To me, that's all you've got. You've got one quarterback and you've got 6 rings. There's nothing else there. Andy Reid, I can make arguments 18 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Never had a bad quarterback. Every quarterback, including Michael Vick, who I haven't even mentioned yet.
How does Bill stack up defensively speaking? As opposed to...
He's not Andy Reid offensively.
Andy Reid, the way his offense is run. Okay. That was my question because Bill is the defensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that run.
And that might be part of it.
Tom, obviously, he did what he did, and the offense scored the touchdowns, but the defense kept him in those games. And that's part of the greatness of Bill as well.
Well, I also think you got to look at the merit with Bill of he had a quarterback that basically served as an offensive coordinator. We worry about coaches losing their coordinators and then the scheme changes. It didn't. For 20 years, it didn't because you had Tom.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you can divorce the two. You can't divorce Tom from Bill. They both get credit for what happened, and they both get equal credit, and I guess in my mind, in the end. You will always, to me, Andy will always be chasing the numbers. Scheme-wise, X's and O's.
I don't really care about numbers. I just, the more time goes on, the more I just realize I don't care.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that that's a crap opinion. All I'm saying is, for me, you'll always be chasing that number. You guys are pretty close to me, equally great as coaches, because you have had advantages. Is Donovan McNabb Tom Brady? No, but he was still an elite quarterback. You're
using elite wrong. He was never an elite quarterback.
Really? He was never one of the five best quarterbacks in the league.
Five best is not elite.
Really?
Elite is you threaten to be the best quarterback in the league at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I understand that's skewed because you had Tom and Peyton Manning. I get it. He was never in that ballpark. He ain't elite. Mm-hmm. Calm down. Okay. If Donovan McNabb's elite, you're getting pretty close to saying Tony Romo is. So cool your jets. I don't want to open that Pandora's box.
I don't want to open
You get those Cowboy fans, I'm telling you right now, we'll have to move. We'll have to board up the windows, and we will have to burn this place.
All right. Maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic with the elite talk here, but he was still one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
He was a top 10 quarterback for many years.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else was that? Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar was the same thing, and Bill couldn't win squat with him.
Yeah.
Andy won with Donovan McNabb.
Was he? You put Bernie and Donovan on the same plane here?
Go back and look at the quarterbacks you had when Bernie played. Trust me. If you want to Google it in the break, feel free.
I'm just curious.
Because let me tell you how that will go. You will ask me 10 questions of, who is that? And a lot of them will be, that would be Jeff Blake. He started for the New York Jets.
There's a bit of a difference there, though, right? Isn't Donovan McNabb was...
It's a different era.
Better for his time?
Donovan's a friend of a friend. I like him a lot personally. I was never... I mean, look, he does a quarterback camp in Greenville every year. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. I think we overvalue how good he is from a historic standpoint because he had Andy. And look, I'm not trying to poo on him. I'm just you're all grossly overvaluing this.
Mm-hmm.
Is he better than Kevin Cobb? No doubt.
No
doubt he was better than Kevin Cobb.
Bill Belichick. Here's the thing, though. Bill Belichick won Super Bowls with Tom Brady. Yes. Andy Reid has won Super Bowls with Patrick Mahomes. End of message, repeat the line. I get that's super simplistic, but...
I'm going to simplify it even further.
Mm-hmm.
Take Bill away from Bill Belichick. What do you have left?
Take Tom away from Bill?
Mm-hmm. Take Tom away from Bill Belichick. What do you have left? A bum that's been fired twice.
Yeah.
Take any player away from Andy Reid. What do you have left? Oh, you still got a guy that was winning 10 games every single year, still making it NFC Championship games, still in contention for Super Bowls. Did he win one? No. Neither did Bill.
Yep.
And weird, I'm going to keep saying this every time these things come up. It's weird how every great coach had a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also weird how every great quarterback had a great coach. Ain't that funny? That must be ironic. I must be the greatest quinky dink in the history of sports.
Does kind of go hand in hand, doesn't it? You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout, "Jackson Hew, yeah!" from the rooftops. In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money back, plus $100.
Patients everywhere are experiencing joint pain relief thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. So how does this non-surgical approach work? QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff explains.
Is like when you get a paper cut and the cells that come onto that scene first stop the bleeding, and then it recruits more cells to form new skin and new soft tissue. And then you look down a week later, 2 weeks later, and it's like nothing happened and that paper cut never existed.
In this same way, QC Kinetics uses your natural biologics to help repair and restore aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
We take those same similar cells in different areas that are arthritic, are painful, and we cause this kind of internal self-healing that can resolve patients' pain.
Relief without surgery. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair's gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
At Ingles, we know Valentine's Day doesn't have to be perfect.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
We are back in the Sportsocracy. You can check us out on the YouTubes. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. We're talking about the coaching matchup for Super Bowl 58 this Sunday. You want to see the game live with us, you're welcome to join us. We'll be watching at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. It is the football home of the Sportsocracy.
Another formidable place to get a sandwich. Stephen Tao and Patrick Holt will tell you about the club if you're in the YouTube chat.
It's great. It's awesome.
It's great. And we'll have the specials and things like that. Listen, I'm trying to think how George phrased this. We're co-hosting the party.
Oh, nice.
So they have a party. They've got people coming. We're hoping a bunch of you join us. I'll be a little more low key this year because my wager on Kansas City is, while still formidable, feels a little more. I'm a little more comfortable than I was last year.
All right, very good. We will see you on Sunday for the game.
I do have to tell you this though, and I want your face on record when I tell you. So when they reached out to me about doing this, and we were planning on being there anyway, there was a whole lot of planning that went into this. The first thing they said to me was, people love it when you're here watching a game. That laugh is exactly what I was looking for.
He's not wrong. It does add something to the atmosphere.
I bring a lot of energy.
Yes,
I'm a big energy guy.
Yes, he does. Anyway, Super Bowl 58 this weekend. Coaching matchup. Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid. Steven Tao says, so Kyle Shanahan is on the Andy Reid path.
Oh, yeah, 7 years. Yeah, he's 7 years in of a 25-year path.
Yes.
Whole lot can go wrong in that time.
He's in the same position Andy Reid was. When he was in Philadelphia, he could not win. Is it going to take Kyle Shanahan moving somewhere else, finding him a generational quarterback to finally win a Super Bowl? That's what it took for Andy Reid.
Well, I mean,
you see how you can spin this any way you want to. But I think we all are pretty much resigned to advantage Kansas City.
Well, I mean, the only thing I would warn you of trajectory is that Ross Perot and Al Gore were on a trajectory to be president of the United States. Can I finish? Can I finish? Lockbox.
Yeah. Did not come to fruition. That was also mentioned in the YouTube comments here that Romo was better than McNabb.
Do not engage.
Are you sure?
Pull up. Pull the nose up. Pull it up.
Are you sure about that?
No. I'm not telling you which way I feel on that argument. I'm saying I don't want to have that argument.
I understand. I'm saying, are you sure about that? Kyle Shanahan is on the path. It's just the problem is you have to take down the big dog to get there. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And he's standing in his way. And that's the problem everybody faces now.
Look, what you were talking about earlier of this isn't going to change anything too drastic for me with Kyle Shanahan because this is a long game. Would this be a notch in the belt?
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. No doubt. Is it the end all be all?
No. Nobody's changing.
For me, there
here.
are a lot of potential pitfalls ahead of Kyle Shanahan. You know, you've got a contract with Brock Purdy. You've got a bunch of really expensive players. These are all things that if he can survive them are impressive. And I mean survive them and not crater into the ocean. I also would be remiss if I didn't point out, it seems to me that a lot of you forget that Kyle Shanahan was on the hot seat for quite some time. He won 13 games the year they went to the Super Bowl. Do you know how many wins he had in the other 3 years that in that first 4-year window as head coach of the 49ers? Outside of that 1 year?
17.
You're too high. It was 16. It was 16. He was 16-32.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe lose me on he's on the Andy Reid trajectory. Well, you're right. He's 10 meters into a 1,000-meter run.
Right.
Because I guess that's what I'm saying about Andy is that the ability to survive all of these things. That's what makes him so great. That's the reason that I'm saying to me he's better than Bill. It's not close. Bill's seen actual trouble twice. He got fired both times.
Mm-hmm.
Andy's seen actual trouble multiple times. Quarterbacks getting hurt. Quarterbacks leaving. Quarterbacks getting too expensive. Drafting young quarterbacks. Replacing old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Defenses that weren't always great.
Losing all-pro wide receivers. It's been a lot. There's been a lot of bumps in the road here.
You know what? I know what the difference is. I know what my difference is.
What's that?
Andy Reid had our buddy Nate Brown.
That's
obvious.
The difference.
Genius. I love Nate. I haven't talked to Nate in way too long.
Yeah. I was sad that I was texted him earlier today. I have not heard back from him, checking in on him because he got hit with the super flu last week. Apparently, that's why he couldn't join us on Friday like he was planning.
Wait, is that a new thing that I?
No. He's been battling the flu for a couple of weeks. He had told me,
Oof.
And then had to go to urgent care on Friday.
Oof.
So he's hopefully recovering right now. Nothing changes with Andy Reid if he wins this Super Bowl. He's already in the pantheon of great head coaches, all-time great head coaches in this league. He wins this one. Does that cement his place on the Mount Rushmore of coaches? Or is he already there?
He's already there. I dare you, give me 4 better. That's a serious question. That was not rhetorical.
It would be If you were going to go another way.
And now just understand, I am a jerk, and I will laugh at you out loud.
It'd have to be Bill and Don.
Okay.
And then at that point, if you wanted to go like Chuck Noll, maybe, and then Bill Walsh, that might be the only 4 that I would accept other than Andy Reid. You give Andy Reid 3+ Super Bowl titles, you got to take one of those last 2 off.
Well, I would love to hear. I'd love to hear the explanation on Bill Walsh.
It would be the greater impact to the game. It would be changing the offense. It would be the coaching tree. That would be the only excuse you could have. Andy's on. He's on mine.
No doubt.
Andy
is ahead of mine.
Andy is on mine.
And Chuck Noll was the third one that I get it. I was really hoping you were going to say Vince Lombardi, and I was going to laugh at you out loud.
No, and old school fans will get upset about that, but it is what it is. This is a different era of football.
It's okay. Matlock comes on in like an hour. It'll be totally fine.
We have a trophy that is named after him, and I think that's all we need to do.
Yeah, there's your kudos. You lasted in this league for about 6 years.
Right. Times changed. It's not 1970 anymore, and Vince Lombardi's not on that Mount Rushmore for many of us.
Now look, we love the older fans.
Absolutely.
Just to me, there's 2 cemented spots. The other 2, actually, there's 3. Don, Bill, Andy Reid. That 4th one, you put Yosemite Sam up there for all I care. You go Bill Walsh, you go Chuck Noll. If you want to throw Vince Lombardi up there, I'm going to chuckle to myself, but I'm not going to tell you no.
I think we should put Rex Ryan's foot up there.
It's not Rex's foot, it's Rex's wife's foot. Okay? There's a huge difference there. You're being super disingenuous there. Nobody wants to see Rex's foot.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
More enjoyable weather here for February. Temperatures about 10 degrees above average or less, but still above average any way you look at it. Mostly sunny today, and I'm going to say mostly sunny for Thursday. Both days, great days for this time of year, near 60. Overnight lows near 30. Friday, we'll start to see some showers. They'll be widely scattered around, though, but still mild, near 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes.
When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout, Jackson Hew, yeah, from the rooftops. In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money back, plus $100.
Nothing says I love you like a clean home. This Valentine's Day, call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Right now, mention ESPN Asheville and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $109, plus a free hallway. Book online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570, and I've been going to Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt for years. They're fantastic, but you don't have to take my word for it. Check out some of these 5-star reviews from Google. After searching for a dentist for months, I finally found this place. I needed some serious dental work, and they got me in within a week. If you're anxious about going to the dentist, I assure you this is the place that can give you a new outlook on having dental work done. They're upfront, honest, and caring people who only want the best for their patients. You gotta check out Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt, home of the Comfort Menu.
Get ready for the big game with a free iHeartRadio app, the official partner of the NFL Podcast Network, featuring the biggest names in the game like Ross Tucker and his daily NFL podcast.
I am so looking forward to that game.
NFL Total Access.
That's another mini storyline to watch.
NFL Now.
This could be the dangerous team.
And many more. The free iHeartRadio app and the NFL, getting you the insight and behind-the-scenes stories you need for the big game. Just open the free iHeartRadio app and search NFL and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Hear that? That's the sound of new digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Now you can play right from your phone and win real cash prizes. It may all sound new, but winning, oh yeah, big money, is as thrilling as ever. Register to play digital instants for a whole new way to win. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instance for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
At Ingles, we know that not every Valentine's Day is 4-star perfection, with string quartets and swanky restaurants.
My boyfriend bought me flowers.
That it's not the money you spend or the elaborate lengths you go to.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
ESPN Asheville, this is the Sportsocracy. Time to get weird, and the weird news for me today is that there was something actually newsworthy that happened at the U.S. Open bowling tournament.
Let's go. Was it somebody drinking beers out of a shoe? Because that would be my thought.
No, it wasn't that. It was apparently crimes. Crimes were happening at the U.S. Open bowling tournament over the weekend. Or not maybe in the building, but the U.S. Marshal showed up at one point.
Always a bad sign. You see a U.S. Marshal, you have boo-booed bad.
And they were there in search of one particular person. Professional bowler Brandon Novak, 35 years old. They arrested him on the lane. He was in the middle of like the 7th frame of the last round of the U.S. Open tournament, and he was taken out in handcuffs by the U.S. Marshals Service. We don't know why, though. They're keeping
that's a letdown. I thought you were about to tell me what.
They're keeping it real hush-hush until he can be extradited to, I guess, the next county. I don't know what the distance between Ross County and Chillicothe is.
There's only a handful of reasons that the U.S. Marshals would show up. My best friend on the planet was a U.S. Marshal. And what I'm going to say is a little crude, and I gave that caveat so you could just assume that it ain't going to be great. It's always because you put something somewhere it wasn't supposed to go. Whether it's money or robbed things, yourself. It could be a lot of things, but it all almost always boils down to that.
Yes. We are awaiting extradition for this guy to find out what he did, but they say it's part of a larger operation. Interesting. Here's the other interesting part. He had already done so well in the tournament that he still won money. He finished 36th, despite the fact that he didn't get to finish his frames, and won $1,500. So maybe, that might be enough for something in the canteen while he's in there. It's definitely not going to be enough for his bail. If the U.S. Marshals are after you, $1,500 ain't gonna cover nothing.
If the U.S. Marshals arrest you, I can assure you, your bail is gonna have a comma, and there's at least 2 digits to the left of it, and it ain't gonna start with a 1 or a 2.
No,
you're gonna be coming off some sizable doubloons to get out of that one. My story is I've got such a good crime story for later that I am just so excited about. This is kind of crimes. Comes from Las Vegas. Super Bowl week. So obviously all the city of Las Vegas is preparing for the Super Bowl. And you would think that the Las Vegas Police Department would be really battening down the hatches to deal with tourists getting mugged, street crimes on the Strip. Well, they do have an initiative, and they are so serious about it that they put it out on social media. What do you think that initiative is? They're asking for the public's assistance in this too, if that gives you any help.
Are they taking the guns?
They're not taking the guns.
Drugs.
This is from the Las Vegas Metro Police Department's Twitter account. It's almost Super Bowl weekend, and we need your help. Please report large parties at short-term rentals in your neighborhood. See flyer on how to report them. Thank you. So let me get this straight.
Did they say it like that? Thank you.
It does appear that way because there was an exclamation point at the end. So street crime, no, we're good. Releasing people with no cash bail every day. But the line that we cannot cross is people throwing Super Bowl parties in Airbnbs.
Can't have it.
Mm-hmm. That's a weird flex, bruh. That's about the only way I can say that is that's a weird one for you to draw that line in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Why else would you rent an Airbnb in Las Vegas other than to throw a party in it?
That's a great question because I can't think of one.
I cannot think of it. Well, I mean, I can think of one reason, but I can't say it on this show, and it involves something I said in the last hour.
Mm-hmm.
Sailing's legal.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, there you go.
We figured it out.
Yeah. You never know. Sometimes you got to sometimes the mouse finds the cheese. Sometimes you got to lead the mouse to the cheese. It blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely blows my mind that that's what you would be worried about the week of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know where your connection there is of the greater crime issue because we see the push every Super Bowl. Talking about the uptick in the what is it, like the vice crews looking for human trafficking things and
that makes sense.
Hitting the roads and making sure the drunk drivers aren't out and about. And,
that also makes sense.
Right. Drug sniffing dogs on every corner.
That makes sense.
Being the local Karen calling out Goober down the street for having a house party.
And I can hear how this call's going to. They're having a party next door, and they only have one charcuterie board. Okay? Like, it's just, this must be stopped. Won't somebody please think of the children?
It's the first world problems.
I can only imagine in a Vegas suburb what you would get, what those calls would sound like. Oh, just let them be. Let them live. Let them live. Yeah. Super Bowl weekend, okay? I mean, this is a great time for us to reinvigorate our call for the Monday after the Super Bowl to be a federal holiday.
That's always a cause that we can get behind.
I mean,
unfortunately, we don't have any leaders that are listening.
It's not that they're not listening; they can't hear. I say, hey, could you run that by me again? The Matlock was on.
It already is. It already is a holiday.
It is a holiday. I remember when I was a boy. One of these days, I swear to God, somebody's going to find me. They're going to go, we want you to host a political talk show. It'll last for exactly 2 episodes, and I may be on a federal watch list.
Yes.
I may not be allowed to fly anymore after that. Because secret time, I hate them all.
All right, let's play the fun game of either, neither, both. Jeremy, you said you've been cooking on some questions over there.
Well, I spent the week in Mobile, and I have one specifically that has nothing to do with sports.
Okay.
And I couldn't stop thinking about it. You told me you've been to Mobile during Mardi Gras week.
Yes.
Either, neither, both. Which one would you go to? Mardi Gras in Mobile, Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Because for me, it was a sweet time. And I'll be there for this moving forward. There are some things that don't happen at Mobile Mardi Gras that I was a little, we'll say, sad.
Yeah.
That
you wanted it to be a little more raucous. I get it.
I was expecting an R movie, and I got Land Before Time.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that there's not a merit to cartoon dinosaurs telling us how the world was driven, but that ain't what I was here for.
I will go both on this one. As someone who has experienced Mobile at Mardi Gras, I thought it was great because it was a fun time and it didn't get too out of control. And I went with the family. I took the kids. They were little. I'm not doing that. I'm not taking 2 4-year-olds to New Orleans.
You shouldn't.
For Mardi Gras.
You shouldn't do that.
Not going to happen. Mobile's a perfect place to take the family to enjoy Mardi Gras, still get the history, still get that flavor, still get all the free stuff, all the beads. They do all of that. There just is not any public nudity. Now,
see, that's what I'm going to need.
If I'm going, if it's just us, you and I are, we got to go to the Senior Bowl next year.
Be super careful about how you finish this sentence, because I will take this as a challenge if you're not careful. And I will bring you back to your doorstep like a dog with a dead bird and just go, that's what's left.
If you're just going out with the dudes, obviously New Orleans is the place you want to be. I want to be drinking bourbon on Bourbon Street and have to crawl home and maybe see some fleshy bits on my way to the hotel. Like, that's what you're there for.
Some of you really like clipping this show. Could you get that one for me?
I'm going both, because they're both great experiences. It just depends on who you're going with.
No doubt. Well, I mean, I didn't really have an aversion to Mardi Gras and Mobile. I don't think I had. I mean, I had a lot of scouts and media dudes with me. So most of them flew out on Thursday to avoid all of the things. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of left to my own devices. And I met a lot of cool people. I also couldn't find a place to eat because there was a parade at 6:30 every day, and it was blocking off every restaurant in the city, which was a tidbit of a problem.
Mm-hmm. And if you want the in-between Mardi Gras, Pensacola, Florida. Yeah, they do a huge Mardi Gras.
Well, apparently there's a bar called Floribama that I need to investigate.
Okay.
Had a bunch of people tell me that.
Is that in Pensacola?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, half of it's in Alabama, half it's in Florida. So it's right there.
It's
in Pensacola, but it's on the line. And there were several people that went. May the odds forever be in your favor.
Mardi Gras is a fun time. You can find many places to celebrate it. It just depends on what you're looking for. Okay. I did this earlier today. I made me a little list of prop bets that I like for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
We're planning on going full in with all of the wagers and all of that stuff. We'll bring that
will be the
to
Friday
you.
show.
Yes, coming up on Friday. However, I wanted to pull this off and see which one of these you think would be a better shot.
Yellow Gatorade. Sorry.
Plus 1,000 on Christian McCaffrey to have 23 rushing attempts in the game. This is one of those jersey bets. They got to do the stat has to match the number on their jersey.
Oh,
that's why the odds are so high.
So it's not over.
It's exactly
23.
Exactly 23 rushing yards or rushing attempts in the game. Or Travis Kelce scores an octopus at plus 3,000. He gets the touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Which one do you would be the better, just to throw a little something on, just
Kelce,
in case?
no doubt.
Okay, that's
Kelce,
where I'm at. I thought they were
doubt.
real close.
I did not.
Really? You think Christian's going way over 23?
No, I actually think he'll go under. I look for him to have more receptions than just I mean, you got what's the weakness of San Francisco's offense? The offensive line, specifically on the interior. So, I mean, if you want to just run him right at Chris Jones, you can do that. I don't necessarily think it's going to go your way, but getting him out in space seems to be more of a productive to me.
Okay.
That's just the way I would game plan it.
Okay. And, yes, we will bring you more of our favorite prop bets coming up on the Friday program.
Yellow Gatorade. That's if you want an early.
Is that an inside tip or
what are you, a cop?
No, I'm just curious how you would get to that color in your head.
Somebody gave me the path to righteousness on Gatorade colors and how they decide that. I will never bet a couple of them again. And you only have 5 or 6 options, and a couple of them you can knock off immediately.
Okay.
And this year I feel really solid that yellow's the right call. It also gives me a reason to pay attention after all the beverages have happened So Gatorade gets poured, and then I find myself going, what color was it? I got $1,000 on this. Tell me.
Right. Well, unfortunately, you will not be able to make wagers in the state of North Carolina on the Super Bowl. But you will be able to do it real soon because DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps, is coming soon to North Carolina, March 11th. It won't be long until you can bet on the same game parlays, money lines, and props right here in North Carolina with DraftKings. They have something called the Odds Boost. What is that, Jeremy?
That is where you take a wager and they give you an odds boost. So if it was plus 150, they give you an odds boost to plus 250, which gives you great ways to make more money. As time goes on, we're going to show you all the ways to make all the money, and there's only one place that you can do that, and that's DraftKings Sportsbook.
It's not just football. You can bet on all kinds of sports, including college basketball, which March 11th is the day before the start of the ACC tournament, so great timing for us. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and bet on all your favorite sports once we go live only on DraftKings Sportsbook, coming to North Carolina on March 11th. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or go to morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply, subject to regulatory licensing requirements. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook/NC.
They're our newest partner here in the Sportsocracy, and they're going to be a great friend of yours as well. And come March 11th, there's going to be a sweet little YouTube tutorial on all the things that you need to know. I'll explain what an octopus is. I'll explain all of the things that you need to know. And you can take all that to DraftKings Sportsbook and make all the money.
And we are so glad to have them on with us here, and so glad that it has finally come to legal sports gambling here in North Carolina.
I mean, I feel like that the day that came down, I should have just gone full Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Finally! The Rock has come back to North Carolina.
We'll continue either, neither, both questions up next here in the Sportsocracy.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great, but with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Are you ready? Stargazers Designs can assure your Valentine receives gorgeous flowers to make their day truly memorable. Place your order today at stargazersfloraldesigns.com.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place? You know, that spot that only you know about? And instead of what you came for, you found something a little different. What if instead of your private stash, you found a simple phone number, 1-800-662-HELP? What would you do? Would you stop and give it some thought? Would you make the call? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before those risks become real, before drugs turn your life upside down, before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use or prescription drug misuse, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/thereishelp.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
At Ingles, we know Valentine's Day doesn't have to be perfect.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It is ESPN Asheville. You're in the Sportsocracy, playing the fun game. Either, neither, both.
This is probably a great time to tell you as well. Later on tonight, depending on what part of the country you're in, 9 Eastern time, my newest first round mock draft comes out live on the YouTube channel. You'll also be able to see it on Instagram. We have some lovely graphics that have been done, and we'll put those out player by player, trying to make friends and influence people. Let's go.
Very good. Very good. What's your next either, neither, both query?
So I've got one, and I think I know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. We have seen a lot of controversies around the Super Bowl over the years. So this is a 3-part either, neither, both. I tell you, there is a massive controversy coming away from the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Rank these of either, neither, both. Which one will be the culprit? The officials, Taylor Swift, or Usher?
The controversy arises.
There's a reason that I'm asking this.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people have kind of boo-booed the Usher halftime show.
What do you mean?
Not a lot of buzz about it, not a lot of excitement about it. And it's not, to me, it's not exciting. And sometimes when you don't have any buzz, you either come in really vanilla or you go really over the top in the hopes that it's the expectations were low and the payoff was high. So if we said there was a big controversy, like a legit big controversy coming out of the Super Bowl.
Yes. I'll rank them the same way you said them. It would be the officials 1, Taylor Swift 2, Usher 3. I can't imagine anything Usher would do that would be controversial.
Well, I will tell you this: it's going to be Usher and Friends.
That I fully expect. He's done a lot of duets,
yes.
Right? He's tag teamed with a lot of people, so I'm expecting fully. Lil Jon will show up. I think he's done work with who else did I see mentioned that would be showing up there? The name just went out of my head. Anyway, there have been a lot of stars in his past. Let's put it that way.
So for me, I will say the exact same thing that you just said, but I'll say it about Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Because I'll say it's officials 1, Usher and Friends 2, Taylor Swift 3, and it's a way down there, Taylor Swift 3. I can't imagine what she would do. Like, what could she do from a suite that we're going to be talking about? It's going to be shown 1,000 times. But let's say she fell asleep. Does anybody care?
No.
Exactly.
No. This is part of the conspiracy theory. She's going to make the presidential endorsement at the post game and all of that.
That's why I asked this.
That's the only path. I mean, she's going to be controversial anyway.
No shot. Let me just all you conspiracy theorists that think she's going to make this something political. Let me make this as perfectly clear to you as I can. there is a better shot she goes full Janet Jackson in that suite than that she declares any kind of party affiliation to anything. And if she even thought about it, let's say that was just voiced to her. If Roger Goodell got wind of it, I guarantee you that conversation went something like this. Look at me.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. No.
But I think there's a better chance of that happening. Or her causing some kind of a commotion, because she causes a commotion at everything. Nothing that she does.
I didn't say commotion. I said controversy.
I get it.
Yeah,
her presence is controversial to some people.
Yeah, I don't think it makes a headline, though. I don't see there's any. Yeah, Patrick Holt said camera shows her and Jason Kelsey making up the box. That would be a controversy. Also, 0% chance that happens.
Number one on my list is the officials.
Mine too. And it bothers me that we're doing this again. I feel like we're going in almost just bracing for the officials intervening themselves in this game.
It's because they've been, they've been interrupters all season long. Why would they stop at the big game when they're on the big stage? You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville Daily Draft. Is coming up after the break.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
More enjoyable weather here for February. Temperatures about 10 degrees above average or less, but still above average any way you look at it. Mostly sunny today, and I'm going to say mostly sunny for Thursday. Both days, great days for this time of year, near 60. Overnight lows near 30. Friday, we'll start to see some showers. They'll be widely scattered around, though, but still mild, near 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with a new way to enjoy our beautiful planet. When exploring outdoor areas like local parks or a historic urban neighborhood this spring, be sure to recreate responsibly to protect yourself and the environment. Check the open status of a place before you visit, be respectful of others, and dispose of waste properly. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you won't find PTSD by looking at a thermometer. Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a bandage. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Get ready for the big game with the free iHeartRadio app. Pre-game with perfectly tailored playlists like Big Game Party and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Big Game, and listen now. Make the big game great with iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Car won't start on a work morning? That's a job for roadside assistance.
Getting you cranked for the day? That's a job for First News on 570 with Mark Starling.
On News Radio 570 WWNC.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or injury? Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence. Walk and run and play and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Phone 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingles Studio. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We're heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. Get your thoughts in on all of the topics of the day. Today's daily draft. Third hour of the program as we build our way up to Super Bowl 58. It's time to do X Factors. The guys who are going to play the biggest roles in how this game is going to turn out. Now, are we including everyone in this? Are we doing the lazy quarterback thing?
No.
Or is this non-quarterback positions?
I'm going to go a little deeper.
Ooh.
I will say no coaches.
Okay.
No quarterbacks.
Okay.
No number one receivers.
Ooh. Okay.
And that would take out Christian McCaffrey as well.
Darn it. That was my loophole.
Yeah.
That was going to be my loophole for number one.
I'm a gambler, Puddin'. I don't leave loose ends. Never mind. No good can come from what I was going to say.
Well, there's that.
This is and I almost want to phrase this another way.
Mm-hmm.
It is X Factors. The guy that could make a play that wins this game.
Okay.
I left open everything on the defense because it's hard for an individual defensive player to make a play that could win a game. So this is almost secondary MVP candidates. If we had a Dexter Jackson or a Larry Brown or somebody that's just go, really? That guy won a Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, don't talk smack.
Hey,
Dexter Jackson.
There is no smack. He's been looking at my Facebook page for some reason. We're just waiting for him to send me a friend request. We can be boys.
How's he now?
We have a bunch of mutual friends. It happens all the time. And I'm like, will you just send I don't want to be the weird guy that sends you a friend request. I mean, I'll do it, but I don't want to.
But you don't want to.
Mainly because I don't like the rejection of when you go, who is that dude? Well, you got no friends with a mullet?
Who's going to make the pivotal play that could win the game? That's not a number one receiver. That's not a coach. That's not a quarterback.
And not Christian McCaffrey.
And not Christian McCaffrey, which I feel like you put the thumb on the scale there, but okay. Number one selection for me.
It's not putting the thumb on the scale when I have to abide by the same rules.
I get it. This one may seem off the wall, but I feel like if the play that breaks the back of the San Francisco 49ers is going to happen, it'll be Brock Purdy throwing an interception to McDuffie.
I feel like you're going to see a lot of McDuffie on Deebo Samuel. And it makes sense. He was very high on my list. Look, Kansas City has done a phenomenal job of building out a defense that's perfect for Steve Spagnuolo. And in the games, and I just want this on record so it can be there just in case. In the games that I have seen Brock Purdy not be real good, it's because he got confused. He started throwing things at him. He started misdiagnosing the play. Steve Spagnuolo is a master of that. I'm going to show you one thing, send something completely different. So, I think it's a formidable first selection for you.
Trent McDuffie is far better than I thought he was going to be coming into the league, and in just what's it been, 3 years, or is this?
This is
two?
two.
This is just his second year in the league. He's already an elite cover corner in this league.
You didn't have lofty expectations for him coming in?
I didn't.
Really? Just shows. I can say it. Doesn't mean he's going to listen to it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Now, I didn't think he would be this good, but he was.
Mm-hmm. But he's made
he's
made
become
the
what I thought he would. He's just way better at it than I thought. Because my knock on him was he plays a lot in the slot. Well, that's not really a knock anymore because about half the best receivers in the league do too.
It was one of those that was quite evident from the moment he stepped on the field that this is going to be just fine. And he's turned himself into an all-pro in just a short amount of time. And I'm not sure there are many corners in this league that I would take over him right now.
Funny you asked it that way. According to PFF grade, how many corners in the NFL were better than Trent McDuffie this year?
I'll say none.
It's not none.
2?
3.
Oh.
He was 4. He was 4 overall. I'm trying to get the list of the 3 that were better than him, but my computer's going real slow.
Mm-hmm.
Sauce Gardner, Jalen Johnson of the Bears, and Deron Bland. And Deron Bland, I don't know what algorithm you have off, but you should really investigate that a little deeper.
All right, number 1 pick, Trent McDuffie to make the big play. Jeremy, where do you start?
Well, for me, I don't necessarily – Kansas City's got a lot of options. But notice that you said loophole.
Mm-hmm.
Always remember, I'm the king of the loophole. There was a thing that happened, and it happened in the last – I think it happened last week. And Jerick McKinnon came off IR, designated to return.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's not my selection because he's unlikely to play. I feel like the only reason you would have done that was as a bit of a deep shot Hail Mary, because there's something you see with San Francisco that really makes you think you can get something in the passing game throwing to running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take Isaiah Pacheco here because I think running into the teeth of that San Francisco defense seems like a bit of a fool's errand to me. And this is going to sound like a really weird name for me to say first. I'm going Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You know I don't like him.
No, you don't.
He's a good receiver, though. He's a good receiver, and I look at some of the things I see with San Francisco. If you were to catch them, you catch them in the right play call, Pat Mahomes sees it, checks off, and you get one of those in space to Edwards-Helaire, and he's just a bowling ball with what San Francisco has in that back half. I could see him being a headache.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody will think about that because you got Fred Warner, you got all these pieces for San Francisco in the linebacking core. There is a possibility that he has a game that nobody sees coming. You know, it's hard for me to say because I'm not a CEH guy.
It is.
Mike Baker, one of our resident Chiefs fans, he beat me to the punch of my next pick.
Okay.
Because he said McDuffie's not even the best corner on the Chiefs. Well, it's ironic you said that, my friend, because my second selection is one Mr. L'Jarius Sneed. And let me just tell you how I see this going, because this is one that if you told me a defensive player won MVP, I would bet you it was L'Jarius Sneed. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
I noticed something watching tape of Brock Purdy. In times of strife, he almost always goes to Brandon Ayuk. It almost never fails. I watched it every game that they were trailing, and Ayuk would get peppered with targets to try to get the offense on pace. And I could easily see that happening in the fourth quarter. Spagnuolo throws that look. Brock does not know exactly what's coming. He thinks he's got a hot route to Ayuk. And there comes Mr. Sneed.
And L'Jarius jumps it.
For that 6 the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
You took McDuffie, and look, I like that pick. He was my 5. L'Jarius Sneed was my 1. CEH was my 3. I don't think you'll take my 2. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, you'll know.
Yeah.
Because I'll say falafel real loud.
I am – that's a lot of Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
A lot of Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm going to go San Francisco 49ers with my next selection.
Okay.
You said his name just a moment ago. It's Fred Warner. He's the one on that defense that I'll look at and go, I think he's making the play. Whether it be the chase down from behind that ends a big play, prevents the touchdown. Of course, we all know he's pretty good with his hands as well.
Oh, no doubt. He's the best off-ball linebacker in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that's even debatable.
I think he can be the number one disruptor on that defense and come up with the forced fumble or the interception or something that turns it.
I could see that. I think he's going to end up on Travis Kelce enough. And that's not a matchup I love for Kansas City. Because Warner is thin, but he's real tall.
Mm-hmm. So you're afraid he won't be able to keep up?
No, the other way around. I think he's built for a matchup with Travis Kelce. The only thing that would worry me is if Kelce could body him, because that does happen from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to happen much.
Mm-hmm. Then my next selection, I'll go back to the Kansas City Chiefs, and you may have told on yourself on this one. I didn't realize he was an option, but I will go Isaiah Pacheco if he's on the board.
He's an option.
Because I believe that this can end up being a Damian Williams situation. And a few years back, I think wasn't that the San Francisco Super Bowl where Damian Williams had such the good game, salted it away for him. He ended up being, to me, he was the MVP down the stretch of that game. Of course, it had to go to Patrick Mahomes.
I was about to say, you're still bitter about that
no,
MVP.
I'm not bitter about it. That's one of those Super Bowl performances that I want to make sure I never forget. Because that was a game where a guy you weren't expecting to be the star, he damn near was the star and took it away from Patrick Mahomes. Isaiah Pacheco could do that very thing here. You saw what the running game of Detroit was able to do against San Francisco last week. What if that happens again? I know they'll do everything in their power to keep it from happening, but sometimes there's just nothing you can do. And depending on whatever scheme Andy Reid wants to go at you with, you can find a way to get Isaiah Pacheco the ball a bunch and salt this game away.
I get it. But you didn't take the guy that I was looking for.
Okay.
We do have to take a break. It's the way, radio works. Got to pay a bill or two. And then I will take that guy, and I will figure out whoever my other pick is. I got two. I'm just trying to decide which one you will and won't take.
It's all coming up next here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout, "Jackson Hew, yeah!" from the rooftops. In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money back, plus $100.
What's better than winning a prize on a Multiply the Cash scratch-off?
Oh, hello? Well, I guess I'd say probably...
Winning every single prize. What's better than winning every single prize?
I can't think
Winning every prize times 2 with the Win-All Doubler.
Well, you don't need me here, so I'm going to go pick up a scratch-off.
New Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery with a chance to win every prize doubled. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.77 to 4.71. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
In long-term care, every job has purpose, and each individual makes a difference. Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation offers opportunities for you to make a difference, from CNAs to nurses, resident care, and more. At Sandstone, our teammates strive to be the best they can be. So every opportunity is more than just a job. It's a career with purpose. Find your path online at sanstonehealth.com/careers.
There'll be plenty of mindless tedium waiting for you once you get to work.
Making it even more important to exercise your brain on the drive in.
First News on 570 with Mark Starling.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Ingles 2024 Southern Conference Downtown Dribble and Kids Fest presented by Champion Credit Union will be held Saturday, March 9th, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at the Roger McGuire Greene at Pack Square Park. The Downtown Dribble will feature interactive games, inflatables, pep bands, cheerleaders, and a parade. Each participant will receive a basketball, Downtown Dribble t-shirt, and a ticket to the noon session quarterfinal basketball games. Check-in will begin at 9:30 a.m. at Roger McGuire Greene. To register, visit downtowndribble.eventbrite.com.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan.
The Beast
Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville Daily Draft. Talking X factors for the Super Bowl. Now we're going deep divey here. It's who's going to make the play that's not a quarterback, that's not a number one receiver.
Yeah, because we're a little better than going, well, I think the X factor for the Chiefs is Brandon Ayuk and Brock Purdy. And for the Chiefs, I'll go Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes.
So who's going to make the big play that's not the superstar? I went Trent McDuffie, Fred Warner, and Isaiah Pacheco as my first 3 selections. Jeremy so far has taken Clyde Edwards-Helaire and L'Jarius Sneed. Now it's time for your 3rd selection.
I'm so glad you didn't take this guy because I told you I'd left off my 2.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think you were going to get there. It's Javon Hargrave. With no Joe Thuney, there's going to be a spot there that it's a guy that hasn't played. Was it Nick Allegretti, I think's his name?
Yes.
I'm not saying he's bad. He's not. He's fine. Real good pass blocker in what we've seen in light action. But you're going up against one of the best defensive tackles in this league. And you got Eric Armstead on the opposite side. He gets Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey. I'm a little less worried about that. I think you'll see Humphrey help over on Hargrave.
Mm-hmm.
But if you talk about a guy that could just be an absolute over and over and over and over again disruptor, I think it's Javon Hargrave. And we've already seen your Tampa Bay Buccaneers showed with Pat Mahomes. The most kryptonite we've ever seen to him was interior pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
You get home on the inside. That was the year that they went, okay, we have to reinvent the whole wheel and got Joe Thuney and Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. We're never doing this again.
Nope.
Well, here we are, and your biggest investment is unlikely to play.
It's never a good sign. Javon Hargrave applying the pressure up the middle. Not a bad choice. Next.
I hate to take another Chief. I really do. But I'm gonna.
Mm-hmm.
It's Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
Okay.
Would that not be the ultimate redemption story after he cost them the game with Green Bay because he couldn't bring one in? I feel like he's been an absolute punching bag for Chiefs fans all year.
That he has.
He's still fast.
Well deserved.
And no doubt he has terrible hands. But he's still big and he's still fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you get him behind the defense. Look, there's a possibility. I don't think it's a great possibility, and I've said this for 2 weeks now. This could be a defensive game. This could be first 1 to 20 wins. Because these are 2 good defenses.
Yes.
And I just don't see many chunk play players for Kansas City. I mean, obviously Kelsey, obviously Rashee Rice. But for me, it was between Valdes-Scantling and Watson on the other side. And I don't think Watson's fast enough. I don't think he has the ability to get over the top. If it's going to be anybody, it strikes me as it would be MVS.
Okay. I can't trust him to catch anything.
Oh, I didn't say I trusted him.
He wasn't on my list.
I took him with my 4th selection, so it's not like I'm out there in that Super Bowl MVP futures market putting all the MVS doubloons I can get. I do have a shekel on him.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say, I literally mean I have like a $10 wager on him because the odds are real, real large.
My next selection, I'll go back to the Kansas City Chiefs. It's back on the defensive side of the ball. It's Nick Bolton.
Oh, that's a good one.
I have loved that kid ever since he came in. Came into the league, and I thought, man, he's gonna be something special. I think that was our first draft that we did together. And Jeremy convinced me that Nick Bolton was going to be something special in this league. And ever since he stepped foot on that field, it's been kind of the same with Trent McDuffie. There's no doubt this kid belongs. First year may not have gone as well as you wanted it to, but he has taken every step. And it seems like in big situations, he makes big plays. He made one last year in the Super Bowl. I think he made one last year in the AFC Championship game. He has made big plays in big games and tide-turning plays, forcing the ball out, interception, one way or the other. To me, he is an ultimate playmaker at linebacker. So I'll go Nick Bolton. And my last selection, I'll go over to San Francisco, and it's another defensive player, and I'll go Dre Greenlaw. Because I feel like he's every bit as an impact player, and if I can get the ball out of Isaiah Pacheco's hands, I'm gonna lay the hammer with Dre.
It's so funny to me that they have. It almost seems like no matter who San Francisco puts in that linebacking core, they're really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch the Shanahan disciples that have gotten head coaching jobs other places, they do the same thing. They take these devalued assets at linebacker, chuck them out there, and they're all pros.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Saleh just did it with Quincy Williams. Was a guy Jacksonville hadn't cut. Comes to New York, I would argue he might be the 3rd best linebacker in the league. It's just funny. It's funny how schemes – a lot of times you'll see them with different faces, different names, different helmets, different logos. But the story almost always seems to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ideal place for an off-ball linebacker to go. It's a good pick. You left me one that I would wager you never even considered it, and it might be the most important player in this game.
Harrison Butker.
Jawan Taylor.
That's not a bad one. I had not thought about the key play coming from somebody getting a penalty on the offense, but it tracks.
Well, you do know who's lined up on the other side of him, right?
Bosa.
Yeah, he's going to get Mr. Bosa. And when you see a guy like that tends to like to start early, because he's been doing it all year long, that comes in set back like that, it's because they're trying not to get beat. Because they're scared to death they're going to get beat. There's not many guys that you should be more afraid of beating you than Nick Bosa. And if you told me somebody was just an absolute disaster and it cost Kansas City this game, I would bet anything you want. That's who it is.
Okay.
Donovan Smith would be the 2. But I'm a little less worried about Chase Young than I am about Nick Bosa. I said a little.
Mm-hmm.
You like Chase better than I do. But
yes, I do.
If you had to take one more, undrafted free agent.
Chase Young.
Really?
And follow me down the path here. You're going to be so focused, not that you're going to forget that he's there, but everything's going to be so focused on making sure that Nick isn't the one that hurts you. Chase has that ability. He can make big plays. And who really in this game needs an individual performance greater than Chase Young?
It's not a bad call.
Because he's coming up on a contract, and he wants to get that generational money. He wants to show everybody that he's still got it. He's still got all the potential as the former number 2 pick in the draft. I don't know that there's another person outside of Kyle Shanahan who wants to make an impact in this game more than Chase Young does. because he's got so much to gain from it.
I don't know that he's getting generational money anyway. I think he will get a nice deal with probably a good number of incentives in it.
He'll get that anyway.
I don't know. He's one that I don't even have a really good. I don't even have a good thumb on the market of what it's going to look like for him.
26?
I don't even know if he's that.
No,
old.
He's 24.
I was about to say I think he's younger than that.
24 years old.
Yeah, because he had 4 years on the rookie deal and they kicked out the 5th-year option. So he's only this is only his 4th year.
He ain't even into his prime yet.
I have a player for both teams, so I'm going to cheat, but my name's on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Baker, again, resident Chiefs fan, said Drew Tranquill. He's been one of our MVPs on this defense all year long. I agree with you. And I think he's going to play a big, big role in this game. I don't know that he could – I don't see him doing the thing that beats you, and I don't see him doing the thing that wins it for you. But I think he could be a guy that when you go back and watch the tape, you just go, well, he was there on every single play. And then the one that I'm almost dumbfounded that you didn't take, Jake Moody. Maybe no player with more pressure on him that has more reason for there to be more skepticism about him.
It's a very good call.
Stop drafting kickers, especially in the 3rd round, because you can't get away from it. He was 84% this year kicking field goals. That's like being 40% shooting free throws.
See, I would if I were going to take one, I would have gone the other way. I would have gone with Harrison Butker.
I know what Butker's given me. I have no doubt. I never even considered him.
And as soon as you said Jake Moody, I got there in my head all by my lonesome of, oh, yeah, it makes way more sense to take the kicker that you don't trust rather than the kicker who, could be one of those scenarios where we're making the argument, well, maybe he should be the MVP of this game because everybody else has sucked and he scored 16 points. You never know.
It would be the most ironic thing in the history of time that this game comes down to San Francisco gets the ball 2 minutes to go. I have thrown the derision at San Francisco all year long and at the NFC. They got a shot to come down and win this. And then the kicker that you took in the 3rd round misses a 48-yarder as time expires and away you go. And you just take all of Jeremy's things and you put them together.
Well, let's just hope that the Doink camera catches it. I do like that upgrade this year. We're getting a Doink camera. Actually, I think there's 4 of them. There's one on every pole, on the crossbar and on the upright. Could make for a good scene if it comes down to a doinked field goal at the end. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Stick with us, because coming up next is the most important message of the day, and you ain't going to want to miss this one.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Boy, enjoyable weather here for February. Temperatures about 10 degrees above average or less, but still above average any way you look at it. Mostly sunny today, and I'm going to say mostly sunny for Thursday. Both days, great days for this time of year, near 60, overnight lows near 30. Friday, we'll start to see some showers. They'll be widely scattered around, though, but still mild, near 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes.
When you get your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt, prepare to shout, Jackson Hew, yeah, from the rooftops. In the event you don't get your biggest refund, you'll get your money back, plus $100.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic, agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
828-333-9517. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517.
Get ready for the big game with the free iHeartRadio app. Pre-game with perfectly tailored playlists like Big Game Party and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Big Game, and listen now. Make the big game great with iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good. Get ready for our 2024 iHeart Podcast Awards, presented by The Hartford, live at South by Southwest. March 11th, we'll honor the very best in podcasting from the past year, and you'll help decide who wins Podcast of the Year. Vote now at iHeartPodcastAwards.com.
The Hartford Small Business Insurance is the presenting partner of the 2024 iHeart Podcast Awards, live at South by Southwest. To learn more or start a quote, visit thehartford.com/smallbusiness. With insurance designed for your small business, the Bucks got your back.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, it is time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Greene.
Don't do crimes!
Well, let's go to Evansville, Indiana. This is not necessarily a crime story, but it does involve first responders.
So you told a crime story and weird, and then a non-crime story.
Well, sometimes you get them mixed up, and
you want to play good, you try to play good, and you didn't play so good.
Well, I mean, it started out with a criminal investigation, potentially criminal investigation, where the police in Evansville were called to save a man who was passed out or possibly dying, possibly already dead, in a local park. They go out, they respond, and they are ready to call it. The paramedics come out. They're trying all the life-saving techniques that they can think of, and they call it in. They call the coroner in. Coroner gets out to the scene. Apparently, it was pretty quick. Within a matter of 20, 30 minutes, coroner got out to the scene to do the investigation. Turns out the coroner got on the scene. The expert showed up and went, wait a minute, that dude's not dead. Said it was the first time that it ever happened in his 30-year career in law enforcement that he gets called to a scene and the deceased is not deceased. However, everybody on site is apparently still treating the person as if they are deceased. Apparently, this victim's breathing was so low that they don't know where to point the finger on this one, other than the coroner says, I think it might be just a one-person problem rather than a full-on ambulatory organization problem. The AMR, the local medical response team, thinks that it's probably just one dum-dum that needs to be blamed for this one. But I guess that is a twist. Thank God that the person did not die. But there is going to be a lawsuit in this, especially if there are any long-lasting effects from being ignored on the scene whilst dying.
My story will really ring true if you're a fan of the great classic television show How I Met Your Mother. Because you remember The Naked Man. The Naked Man was a play that you run on a bad date, and 2 out of every 3 times it works. And here's how it works. Date's not going well. Find an excuse. Go to the apartment. When they go to the bathroom, Naked Man. 2 out of 3 times it works. I found the third where it didn't, and his name was Martin Evitmov. He went to the Fort Lauderdale airport on Monday. He is a 36-year-old man. He decided it'd be a good idea to drive up to the airport he parked on the sidewalk. That's the biggest felony of all the things he's getting ready to do. And then he went for a stroll around the airport, but he forgot something. He forgot his shirt, he forgot his shoes, and he forgot his pants because he went full naked man. And oddly enough, he went through the front door of the airport, went up to have a conversation with the TSA security checkpoint people, of which I've been to the Fort Lauderdale airport. That ain't a short walk. He made it way further than I would have thought. He gave a show to what looked like some elderlies. Mm-hmm. And then even went over and nicely inspected some people's luggage on the baggage conveyor belt.
Inspected the
Inspected
luggage. It. With what?
Not that. It's not a dipstick, George.
Yeah, don't be inspecting my luggage with that, sir.
Yeah, is there a refund policy for my luggage was defiled by naked man? Is that in the fine print? Because if it's not, it should be. He was eventually apprehended by TSA agents and police, not without just a touch of a fight, because if you're going to go naked, man, you can't just lay down and die. Nobody wants to fight the naked guy. That's another one of my great philosophies. If you're ever in a fight that you know you can't win, take it off.
Yep.
If you got some baby oil in your pocket, it only makes it worse.
Rule of the day, the takeaway from the story is never be naked handling packages in the airport.
Make them laugh. Avitmov was eventually arrested, booked for multiple offenses, including exposure of sexual organs, which apparently is that's the way that crime is termed in the state of Florida. Resisting arrest and assault charges. The judge also banned him from going back to the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport.
And you're banned for life.
I feel like that would be a great time to play drunk or child. You showed up drunk at the airport naked. That's the easiest one ever. Drunk.
Should never be drunk. It should never be drunk. That should only sit for child. It's the only way you should accept naked in the airport.
I'm going to go the opposite way. Mm-mm. It should never be child. It should always be drunk.
Oh, no. It's way easier to explain a naked toddler running through the hallway than it is grown man with fleshy bits.
Is it
just
though?
A flying?
Is it though?
Yeah.
23 fireballs. Explained it.
Well, I guess
4 words, okay. 2 contractions. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Bill O'Brien is back in the news. Apparently, he's out or not out, but considering a new job, even though he just took a new job. He'll be the offensive coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes if he doesn't take the head coaching job at Boston College. Apparently, he's interviewing for the job. He's on the short list, which he should be. That'd be the best hire that Boston College could get.
I would be promoting my defensive coordinator, but that's just me. They have a defensive coordinator that I like a lot.
I'm trying to figure out why Bill O'Brien would want that job. I mean, unless he's ready to call it quits. Unless he's taking this as the sunset job.
Well,
just see if I can if I can bring this team to bowl relevance.
Well, I can tell you it's not the sunset job. He's just 54 years old. So, I mean, we're nowhere near that.
I just don't see this being a stepping stone to something bigger.
Well, the ACC's down. You're going into a 12-team playoff era. If you got Boston College to the playoff, you could have your pick of a lot of other jobs because it's so hard to win there. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, my question would be, are you in better shape as the offensive coordinator at Ohio State or as the head coach at Boston College? That's the part of this that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's offensive coordinator at Ohio State, and it's not close.
Especially at a time where Ohio State's spending millions upon millions of dollars to bring in largely offensive talent. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. I don't really get it either.
This is where you and I have those conversations, and you tell me the guy who's the guy wants to be the guy. Right? He wants to run his own program. I get it. But what's the next step? You're not going to win at Boston College. Even Bill O'Brien, I don't see a path where Boston College is going to spend enough to get him the guys that he needs to compete with a Florida State, Clemson.
No, you're not contending at that level. But the question is, what constitutes winning?
At Boston College, 8 wins. And you can do that.
Do you know the last time they won 8 games? I will give you $1 million cash right now if you can tell me the last head coach to win 8 games at Boston College.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know that I could. O'Leary? Didn't he coach there?
Tom O'Brien.
O'Brien. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he did it several times. As a matter of fact, he very rarely didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Jagodzinski, he was the last one to win double digits. And Frank Spaziani was the last one to win 8.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand why you would even entertain this. The school does not spend money. I think Bill O'Brien could get them to relevance to the point of they break a 14-year drought of being in the poll. They've been in the AP poll one time in 14 years. The funny thing is that 2 years before that, they got as high as 2. It's not impossible to win there. There would have to be a significant commitment to funding. And he's going to have a role in NIL and a role in transfers and a role in all kinds of other things. But I don't think you would have gotten to this point if he didn't. If they hadn't already crossed that bridge. I mean, because I'm looking at Bill O'Brien going, all right, you go to Ohio State, you fix the offensive issues, you go in and beat Michigan next year, you go into the playoff as the 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed. You're going to have your choice of jobs next year. Why would you not just wait a year?
Exactly.
It's already too late to salvage a recruiting class. Hell, today's National Signing Day.
Mm-hmm.
My, how that has fallen off. You remember when we used to really pay attention to that? That's the first time it's been referenced today. There's been a recruit of any note signed.
I just don't see this move making any sense for Bill O'Brien.
I think it's more likely they go down the rabbit hole. He finally hears something that he's uncomfortable with, and they wind up with Jeff Monken or somebody like that. I can't imagine, and I understand they're deep in negotiations. The negotiations are the problem.
Mm-hmm. It's a stepping stone job for guys like that.
No doubt.
For up-and-coming coaches. This is not a stepping stone job.
You were a head coach in the NFL.
Like the Ohio State job. Like the Alabama job. Those are the programs that guys like Bill O'Brien will and should join. I don't see any of them taking on the burden of running this NIL recruiting heavy thing that is college football. Go do your job. Call the plays at Ohio State. Win a national championship. Contend for a national championship. You don't even have to win it. You make that offense look great next year, which shouldn't be all that hard. And you'll be up for whatever job opens next year.
You would think, but he seems to be a little impatient.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that's going to have to be patient is former Washington Commander and Kansas City Chief Offensive Coordinator Eric Bieniemy. But his name popped back up today.
Mm-hmm. Going back.
No, not necessarily. This from James Palmer on Twitter. Chiefs had former OC Eric Bieniemy actually get up in front of the offense the day before the AFC Championship game and speak to them and go through the install of a play.
Interesting.
I don't know how none of us knew that. How did that not come up?
I don't know.
I mean, because if we're being really honest, there could be something really nefarious here because he was still employed at that time by another team. It was the worst kept secret in the world that he wasn't coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But that seems odd.
It doesn't to me because as soon as Cliff Kingsbury, that all came out that he was going to get the OC job, I went, okay, well, I know where Eric Bieniemy's going. I just didn't feel like anybody else was going to give him that opportunity.
I think you're missing the part of what I'm saying here. Cliff Kingsbury got hired earlier this week. This was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
Oh, that's not true.
Is there?
Oh, no, that's totally not true. The league is not going to love this story coming out this way. It's a Super Bowl week. This is the deadest day of all the days. If there was ever a day for this not to come out, it'd be Wednesday. And it's just, you're kind of circumventing some of the rules of hirings and firings and who can be in the building, who can't be in the building. But yes, I agree with you that Eric Bieniemy ends up back with Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I get it. You don't normally have this happen with guys that coach on other teams in the league, but we see this a lot, especially in the college ranks. They'll bring a coach in, or they'll bring an NFL guy in to talk to the team before the game.
Well, that's the NFL in college.
Oh,
this is the NFL in the NFL.
Yeah, I get there's a big difference here, but I'm saying it doesn't surprise me that we turn to an old friend to rally the troops or whatever the reason is, because we know he's not going to be there. And we've seen this before. Who did we have last year? There was a coach that got fired and then got brought in as I think it was Wink Martindale. Right? He got let go, and then somebody brought him in at the end of the season for the playoff run as an advisor or something like that.
Well, he didn't get fired last year. He's been in New York for 2 years.
I don't know who it was. I'm just saying this wouldn't be that out of the ordinary, other than the fact that he was still hired,
actively employed.
Right? He was still being paid by the Washington Commanders at that time.
I did enjoy Dan Quinn getting up on the diocese, and they asked him about Eric Bieniemy, and he went, "Yeah, we're not doing that. Can't tell you who the OC is. I do. It's not going to be."
Mm-hmm. He went, "We're on to Cliff Kingsbury.
We're on to the guy with the sweet house and the smoke show girlfriend."
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
What if this year you surprise your Valentine with something more than just flowers? Something so unique that they'll remember for years to come. Introducing Stargazer's Floral Designs. Stargazer's Floral Designs specializes in out-of-the-box floral arrangements you must see to believe. Check out their fun designs at stargazersfloraldesigns.com or call 828-254-3621 to place your order. Stargazer's Floral Designs. Always the best choice for flowers and more.
Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry is hosting a Fall in Love with Your Smile Invisalign scan event on Wednesday, February 14th. You're going to get a free simulated 3D scan to show how your teeth could look after an Invisalign treatment. This event is going to be so fun with giveaways that include discounts, local gift cards, and one lucky person can even win half off treatment. Attendees are going to get the best price on Invisalign in North Carolina. Visit AshevilleSmiles.com today to reserve your spot at the Fall in Love with Your Smile event.
This is Carolina basketball.
2-on-1. Baycott finishes the transition hammer. RJ Davis, he's going to try a quick three. Yes, from the right sideline.
On the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Ends up to Baycott, and he gets the run out. Two-handed flush. Carolina, it's Davis. He's fouled, and give him it.
This is your radio home for the Tar Heels.
Asheville's home for the Tar Heels is ESPN Asheville.
Crooked teeth may embarrass kids whose families can't afford braces, and trying to fix their teeth themselves can make things worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. For children and teens who qualify and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, treatment can be life-changing and help them smile with confidence. Learn more at aaoinfo.org.
All right, people, it's Valentine's Day. Everything has to be perfect.
Yes, Dad. At Ingles, we know that not every Valentine's Day is 4-star perfection, with string quartets and swanky restaurants.
My boyfriend bought me flowers.
That it's not the money you spend or the elaborate lengths you go to.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It just has to come from the heart. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer. If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
We are back on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Other news in the coaching world. Jim Harbaugh has his staff.
Greg Roman.
Greg Roman back as the offensive coordinator. And he's bringing in Jesse Minter, who was the defensive coordinator at Michigan with him, bringing him along to be the defensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers.
I feel like the Greg Roman hire was enough for me to go Brock Bowers confirmed at number 5 to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, yeah.
We're back.
Let's do it. The thing that I always knocked Greg Roman for in Baltimore was it seemed like his game plan was never the same. It was never consistent with Lamar. He would have these swings where he didn't use him the way I wanted him to. Like, he would get away from the running at primo times of the game. Now that he has a quarterback that has an arm that I do believe in, I like this. I think this works well. I'm guessing by the look on your face, you don't agree.
No, really all I can think about is taking that Steve Carell bit from The Office where he shows up in the little convertible. And he stops, he's got sunglasses on, he's like, "It's Brittany, and I'm back." And I want to just take Greg Roman's head and do the Canadian thing from South Park and just split it in half so it talks. I mean, look, I don't really have a problem with Greg Roman because I think Jim Harbaugh is going to – I wouldn't really like him anywhere else, but I'm fine with it here. The Minter hire I like a lot because I think he's got a possibility of being a head coach in this league one day. That's what I always start looking to is what's your high side. And there are so many guys that I see get hired in this league that I don't know that you ever have head coach. Minter does. And I like a lot of what Harbaugh's doing with the Chargers. I think it started well. That was the right hire. We'll see about Greg Roman. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because you've worked with him in the past.
I mean, it's that Harbaugh connection too.
No doubt.
He's got so many people that he's comfortable with. Right, the guy that they hired out of the front office, I can't remember his name. The guy that they hired to be the GM, Hortiz.
Yes.
Yeah, Joe Hortiz. Obviously, he's got great familiarity with him because his brother's been with him for 10 years.
Yeah, somebody
I
sent
just
me
love
a
the way
text
that this is being built.
Yeah, somebody sent me a text that said, funny that the Harbaugh boys are in their 60s now and they're still sharing toys.
It's the key to success.
It is. I mean, look, it's a great time to be a Charger fan. It also will be later tonight when my first-round mock draft comes out and then the requisite 3-round mock drafts because you have 2 picks, and I love them both. It's my favorite 2. I want both of them, and I can have neither. Other stories that I saw today, Elliott Wolf taking over personnel for the New England Patriots. I think that's a solid hire. That is Ron's son that has bounced around the NFL for quite some time, really well-respected around the league. And Alonzo Highsmith is going to have a high-ranking personnel role there, too. New England, I just can't put my thumb on you. It seems like every time I rail on you, you make good hires. As soon as I say you did something well, you do something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stay net neutral on this one for a minute and wait to see what else you got.
Still feel like Gerard was the wrong call?
Yes.
Only time will tell. Tomorrow at noon, we will be back here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It'll be a threadbare Thursday. All of the things that you want talked about, you can throw them into the YouTube chat. We will have more coverage, of course, of Super Bowl 58, more analysis of the game as we get closer to the end of the season.
We only have 2 more shows until we go into the dark times. And that's what I call it when there is no football. It also starts the times where, well, there will be weeks where you go to watch this show and I'm not here. Maybe there's a bird in my place.
Drafting the season will be upon us next week.
Oh, it's so close.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. See you tomorrow.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
More enjoyable weather here for February. Temperatures about 10 degrees above average or less, but still above average any way you look at it. Mostly sunny today, and I'm going to say mostly sunny for Thursday. Both days, great days for this time of year, near 60, overnight lows near 30. Friday, we'll start to see some showers. They'll be widely scattered around, though, but still mild, near 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
What's better than winning a prize on a Multiply the Cash scratch-off?
Oh, hello? Well, I guess I'd say probably...
Winning every single prize. What's better than winning every single prize?
I can't think
Winning every prize times 2 with the Win-All Doubler.
Well, you don't need me here, so I'm going to go pick up a scratch-off.
New Multiply the Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery with a chance to win every prize doubled. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.77 to 4.71. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The NFL playoffs are here, and there's no better way to stay up to date on the latest from our league than with the Around the NFL podcast. Join me, Dan Hansis, and my buds, Mark Sessler and Greg Rosenthal, for news and fresh content all playoffs long. We've been doing this together for over 10 years, and the playoffs always offer up something we've never seen before. Listen to the Around the NFL podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Heed the call.
Presented by T-Mobile for Business. Now is the time for 5G business.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.